Dragons in the skies, fire from the boughs, wisdom flowing fast, ancient temples bow, mountains echo tales, ancestors crying loud, heroes of the past, legends worn proud. On golden silk roads, history unfolds, mystics in the night, secrets they hold, great walls shadow long, warriors in rows, in the courtyard's light, a lotus flower grows. Orchids in the wind, laughter from the light, truth within the sand, cities bathed in might, tigers leap through time, rivers serpentine, harmony and chaos living by design. Phoenix rise anew, feathers burning blue, forest whisper soft, mind open and true. Scrolls of hidden art, sages they confide, seeking of the jade, time won't divide. Battles lost and won, emperors do reign, people marching on, dreams still remain. Peasant to the king, stories intertwined, every single soul walking a fine line. Orchids in the wind, laughter from the light, truth within the sand, cities bathed in might, tigers leap through time, rivers serpentine, harmony and chaos living by design.
Welcome back. I am the I am the dust at the feet of God's servants. Only God is special. Welcome back. Hope you guys are having a good Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. Hopefully it's been a good week so far. The weather's been beautiful. As for the last week, it's been stunning down here in England. Absolutely beautiful. Sunny, but cold. But when you're in the sun, it's beautiful. It's nice. So I hope you guys have been enjoying your day today, doing whatever you were doing. Let's have a quick look at the chat. Oh, we've already got 2 people in. Just the Truth says, hola, the man. Hola, Just the Truth. Business says, happy Lent to all. Yes, happy Lent. My friend sent me a picture today, and she had like a black cross on her forehead. I was like, is it the rapture? What's going on? Nope, it's Lent. Lent has started. I thought I might do a little video on Lent as well, actually. It was something I was thinking about because I don't know much about Lent, so I thought it would be a good, interesting thing to watch. But I hope you guys are doing well, whatever you're doing, where have you been? Let us kick it off with, is the end coming? Is the end coming? Jittins in the chat says, hello, Demin. Oh, Demin? Who's Demin? Hello, Demin. What's up? What's up? What's up? That's the old Buzz Rider ad. What's up? But anyway, let's have a quick look at the first video. So a couple of these videos were suggested by our D Gossi. I was going to get around to doing them one day, but I guess it's today. I guess that day is today. I wasn't actually planning on doing this today, but literally 5 minutes before the stream, I was like, well, 20 minutes before the stream, because that's when I made the thumbnail, is when I went, alright, let's do the end of the world. Let's do the end of the world. I'm ready for it to burn, so it'll be a good, interesting topic to see. So we're going to watch a first video about the Bible prophecy has begun. So the first 2 videos we're going to watch are from our very own D. So hopefully, I've seen one of them, I think, about the first one we're about to watch. I've already watched this before, but we'll watch this one again, and then the second one I haven't seen. Well, I watched the first minute, and then I was like, save it for stream, because I like to give my initial reactions as honestly as I can without having to go away, think about it, research it, and then come back and then give my opinion. I'd rather try and give an opinion based on what I've heard. Biz says, what is light? If the Illumination are evil, if the Illuminati are evil, why do they embrace the name of light? Ooh, good question. Justin Drew says, interesting topic this evening. Hopefully it should be. I'm also going to go through the Muslim eschatology. Eschatology, if you don't know what that word means, it means end times study. The study of the end times within a particular religion. So we're going to look at the Islamic eschatology, the Christian eschatology, and the Jewish eschatology, because those are the 3 Abrahamic faiths that are very, very much about, hey, the end is coming, be prepared. And we're waiting for someone to turn up and save our ass at the end. Jit says, you are not ready for it. Big Nose sounds weird tonight. Weird, strange voice. I've not. I did pop onto his channel for a second, but it was just a video playing, and I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna leave you to it. Like I said, I like conversations. If I want to watch a video, I could go watch a video on YouTube myself. You know, sit there on my own and watch the YouTube in my own time. I know we're about to watch a video. Irony. We're about to watch a YouTube video now, anyways. But I'm gonna be interjecting every once in a while. Although 26 minutes long. Damn. Okay, I didn't remember this video being that long. But it is what it is. Let's speed it up a little bit. We'll go 1.5. And then that way it's about 15 minutes. Oh, 17 minutes still. Jen says, why you think about it if you can't do anything about it? Just to get the popcorn ready, isn't it? It's all about getting the popcorn ready. You want to have the popcorn ready for when it starts burning. And then you can just sit back and enjoy the show. Just the Truth says, Demand, I think you're breaking up. Are we breaking up? But I thought we're friends. No, I'm joking. Not sure what's going on. Mic looks good at the moment from my end, but it could just be my dodgy PC. I did try and investigate my dodgy PC as to why it's been stuttering and causing so many issues for me recently. And I think I figured it out, what it's doing wrong. I just need to figure out why it's doing that wrong. So hopefully in the next couple of days I'll get that sorted out, and then that shouldn't be an issue moving forwards. Hopefully the sound is coming through clear. Just as Drew says, it might be just me. Might be. Jen says, how will you know which day is the popcorn day? Through the signs. Well, that's what these guys say. So let's have a look and see what signs they're talking about. So this one is from this guy I've only watched because D introduced him. Blackwoods. We'll give him a sub. And a like before we watch it. But it's called Bible Prophecy Has Begun. And let's see if the Bible prophecy has begun.
Rivers are now turning into blood red color. Today is 13 February 2025, and some of the most deadliest Bible prophecies are now finally coming true. And for the very first time, people who have never believed in God are now finally panicking after witnessing the Bible prophecy coming true. But there is something even more terrifying that's happening right now, which has even made the non-believers seek God for the very first time in the history ever. Now, before we get into what that one thing is that's making people finally believe in God, let's go ahead and take a look at all the prophecies that is currently spreading across the world in 2025.
All right, so he said blood red and then something else that's making people turn to God all of a sudden. Interesting. The blood red thing, he's going to show a few different examples, but I'm pretty sure I've seen blood red water in the past before. Blood red water. Historical. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was like red blood water in certain places a couple of years, well, more than a couple of years back, about 10-15 years ago. Let me ask AI. AI is going to be easier to filter through all the information. Hello, AI. Can you please tell me when rivers have turned red between 2000 and 2020? Yeah, there's been multiple instances between 2000 and 2020. So it all started, according to this, from 2011. From 2011, the river and city of Luyang turned blood red due to illegal chemical dumping from a factory. And there's been about 7 instances coming up to 2020. And a lot of them are from pollution, dumping waste, processing plant. I don't know if that's a cover. That could be a cover, you know, you never know. But it could also just be legit, and it is just people have been dumping crap in the water supply and making it go red. Let's see which examples he brings up, because like I said, there's been 7 instances since 2011. Hopefully he doesn't bring up anything that's way old, because, you know, the title of the video is The Bible Prophecy Has Begun. So Let's see. So this is from 7th of September 2025. Very recent.
February 7, 2025, in Argentina, the river has officially gone red, which people across Argentina used to use as a drinking water source has now turned into this blood-like.
And hashtag not sponsored.
Machine learning
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Let's skip.
Red color water, and scientists and officials are currently testing out on what really caused this water to turn into red color. Now, the Bible already states that there is a prophecy that's going to come true where the water is going to be turning into blood red color, and these waters are going to be poisoned where people will not be able to get any drinking water anymore. And 1/3 of water in the world is going to be poisoned because of this red color phenomenon. Now, what's interesting about this is that it's not just Argentina, but it's also happening in Peru, where on February 4th, in Remek River has also turned into red blood color. Now, take a look at this footage right here. It definitely seems like there is something crazy going on. Now, obviously, this is not blood, but in fact, a lot of people have been saying that these are some sort of a symbolic signs that God is literally revealing before the second coming of Christ. Now, before we get into all of those details, the water turning red does not just end here, because at the same time, this also took place in Japan, where apparently there was a coolant leak into the water, and the entire river of Japan also ended up turning red.
Coolant leak, he said on this one. In regards to this, I've just quickly Googled the Bible and blood red water. So in Exodus, Moses strikes the Nile River with his staff, turning the water to blood. So it's already gone. We've already seen the water turn to blood at some point in history, according to the Bible. And then it says in Revelation 16:4, the third angel pours out his bowl into the rivers and springs, turning them to blood. Now, if he's saying that the Bible prophecy has begun, it's more than just begun. We're at the third angel. I'm guessing this. Is it 4 angels or 7 angels? I thought the third angel was like the third horseman, but I'm guessing not. Angels, end times. I know there's like trumpets, 7 trumpets. Sounding trumpets. Yeah, cool. I guess that's what they're talking about here when they say the third angel. So the third trumpet. So on the third trumpet, angel pours out his bowl into the rivers and springs, turning them to blood. So we're already technically at the third trumpet. I wonder what the 4th trumpet and the 5th trumpet are. We'll have a look at that. I'm sure it'll come up in the Bible eschatology video we're about to watch. Maybe we should have watched that first, but it is what it is. Let's look at what they're sensationalizing, and then we'll look at and see how much it links to actual Bible stuff.
Blood color. And the same thing happened in Jerusalem, where the water has now turned into red blood color. And scientists have already run some tests on the water. And this is because of the algae that's present in the water that's combined with the iron oxide. So that's probably what is creating this red blood color. But obviously, these are natural phenomena. These are the type of science that we will most probably be getting during the end times. Now, the list doesn't end here, because the same thing also happened in China, where the government is now claiming it seems like people have been dumping some illegal substances into the water, which is probably why it might have turned into red color, is what the government is saying. But then, of course, it also seems like another sign of 1/3 of all the waters that is turning into red color. And what's interesting is that this also happened on February 10th in Iran, in a place called Hormuz Island, where the water has also turned red blood color. So these are all the different parts of the world that are currently able to see water turning into red blood color. So that is also exactly what the Bible says, where it says in Revelation chapter 16, verse 4, and the third angel poured out his vial upon the river in fountains of water, and they became blood. And at the same time, it also states that the third angel will blow the horn, and there fell a great star from the heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the river and upon the fountains of water. And the name of this star,
interesting, name of the star is
called wormwood. And the third part of the water became wormwood, and many men died of the water because they were.
So something crashes into earth on the third trumpet, and that's what causes, like, you have the blood red on the third trumpet, and then also wormwood coming down. So we've got blood red waters, but no wormwood yet. The only thing close to wormwood you could say is possibly that the asteroid that they say that's going to hit 2032. But that means that the river's turning red is a bit early.
Made bitter. Obviously, we've already been seeing the water turning red into blood-like color, but at the same time, NASA has just reported that there is a massive asteroid that is heading towards Earth, and it's going to be hitting Earth in the year 2032. And that's also what the Bible has been stating, that the same thing is going to be happening in a very short time, where there will be a great star that's going to be coming down from heaven. And this massive burning rock is going to be striking Earth, and it's also going to be contaminating all of our waters, where everything is going to be poisoned, and we can't drink from these waters anymore. Now, take a look at some of the things that people have noticed.
It's February 7th, and another river has turned to blood. By the way, while these rivers are turning red like blood, there's all sorts of insane stuff happening around the Earth that I'm about to show you. When I say insane, I mean things that...
I mean, look at the entire river. That is literally blood red in color. And that's just not normal, guys.
don't normally happen. It was cute yesterday when people were trying to say the Peru River turned to blood because iron oxide or something. This one is in Argentina. I told you, you're going to throw out all those baseless claims. This is not normal. And like I told you yesterday, when the waters turn to blood in the Bible, it was always a very fearful thing of God's judgment, whether we're talking the Exodus or in the Great Tribulation. And while these rivers are turning into blood, we're hearing...
See, the thing is this, with all these prophecies, when there's a prophecy where there's some kind of human intervention causing that prophecy to be fulfilled, I call bullshit. I call bullshit. Like, for example, like the Muslims, I know that they like to talk about this prophecy a lot. They say, oh, according to Islam, there's a prophecy that when the Bedouin Arabs, the ones who dwell in tents, when they start living in really tall buildings, that's when you know the end is coming. And it's like, well, if people know that we can make tall buildings and that these people may end up one day making tall buildings, it's something that we it's a self-fulfilling prophecy in essence, because we are the ones building and we're the ones doing, and then it's like, oh, look what I did, oh, look what the Bible says, it said you were going to do this. It's like, well, anyone could have done this at any point. It's just, well, depending with the right technology and understanding, but it's almost self-fulfilling. If it was, for example, let's say the prophecy was, in the future, the sun will go black. And then down the middle of the sun will appear a crack. And from that crack, light will push the darkness around the sun away. Okay? Now, if I was to give this kind of prophecy, nobody can do anything to make that happen. It's either going to happen or it's not going to happen. There is no human intervention. I know, like, there was a Nostradamus one from years ago where it was like, oh, the two brothers shall fall. And they were saying that how that was related to the Twin Towers. And it's like, well, it was a man-made building, a man-made attack. And then, obviously, with the interpretation of the two brothers shall fall, it could have been two brothers who got killed, famous brothers who got killed, and then they would have said, oh, see, the two brothers fell. Or if the two buildings that seemed like brothers fell, it's like, oh, look, the two brothers fell. You know what I mean? It's very, very easy to manipulate real life and cause these prophecies to be fulfilled when it comes to some of these prophecies. But like I said, if the prophecy was about the sun going black, like it has a crust over it, and then a line comes down the middle where it forms a crack, and then light starts seeping through and then bursts out, blasting all this hardened rock around it into space and towards us, that's a lot harder to fake. That's a lot harder to fake. And if that happens, then you go, oh, do you know what? Shit. That's a prophecy being fulfilled. Rather than, oh, look, the red rivers are going to turn red. Oh, look, the rivers are turning red because people are dumping chemicals in there. Okay, yeah, but the rivers are turning red, though. That's what the Bible says. Yeah, but why? Man's interference into the world is what's causing the rivers turn red, not God. Unless, although, yeah, everything is a result of God, 100%. I get that, but at the same time, if we're talking about miraculous prophecy, then I want to see miraculous prophecy, not prophecy that man can go ahead and manipulate. Let's keep it going.
Ridiculous sounds coming from the heavens. Scary sounds. Check it.
I know a lot of people have also been saying that they've been claiming that they're hearing sounds from the sky, which kind of sounds like some sort of a trumpet. Now, obviously, we don't know if this is...
I've been seeing videos about these sounds from the skies on the internet since about 2005, 2006. I've been seeing videos about people going, oh, what's that sound? Oh, it sounds like trumpets in the sky. 2006, since 2006. How many times do we need to hear the trumpet? 7, isn't it? And there's more than 7 videos on the trumpet being heard. And I've never heard the trumpet in the sky. Have you guys heard a trumpet in the sky? Have you guys seen any blood red rivers? Have you guys seen any prophecies being fulfilled? Let me know in the chat.
What people are claiming it is.
I'm no author, but I sell fab.
Hashtag not sponsored.
I didn't write a word.
But then take a look at this stuff.
Sounds and owls hooting. It is insane, crazy.
That's crazy.
It's like the whole sky, and they're not like stopping. They don't stop. They just keep. it feels like they
But then obviously a lot of people would claim that if it is the trumpet from the heaven, then the entire world would hear it. So this kind of just takes this whole thing out.
That's what I would say. Yeah, if it is a trumpet for the whole world would hear it, and you'd only hear it 7 times, not once every other week.
Picture, and this is already proven that it is not the trumpet from heaven, because when the trumpet is blown, everybody in the world is going to be able to hear it. But then before everyone else hears it, people who have already given their lives to Christ are going to be the first ones that will be able to hear this trumpet within their own spiritual nature. And that's where the Bible prophecies.
See, but then he's just contradicting himself now. Now he's contradicting himself. Because technically, if the rivers are turning blood red, we're on the 3rd trumpet. 3rd trumpet. Did anyone hear the previous 2, or even the 3rd trumpet beginning around the whole world? Is that something I missed? Was I asleep? What happened? I just woke up. What happened? Yeah, so he contradicts himself there, because obviously if you're saying that we would hear it around the whole world, then why are you claiming that the rivers turning red are Bible prophecy? Maybe they are just people who are contaminating the water supply. Unless you don't need to hear the trumpets. Unless the trumpets isn't actually a trumpet sound, but just a warning from God. That everyone's being given warnings in their own life, in some way or regard, about the end coming. We'll see.
Are getting interesting, because right now on February 7th, something crazy happened in Antarctica, where nobody ever expected that Antarctica, out of all the places, will also be seeing the same phenomenon happen at the same exact.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy. I'd have to admit, is kind of crazy. But then, obviously, in Antarctica, they've got all these scientific teams. They've been down there for ages, so even man can have some kind of influence there.
Exact time where all the rivers are now turning into blood red color. And this obviously is not coincidence. And scientists have already tested out the water, and they say that it's probably because of the iron oxide that's present in the water that's like combining with oxygen.
They've tested the water, and they say it's probably because... Wait, what? If they've tested the water, they don't need to say it's probably because. They should say it is because, not probably because. So if they're saying probably because, then what else is there? And if they're not saying probably because, and they are saying it is because, then he's not giving the accurate information as to exactly what is causing this. Because he's leaving it open for interpretation by saying probably.
And it's probably just creating this whole red blood color. But take a look at what's currently going on in Antarctica, because Antarctica's unusual blood falls is what they call it, which is flowing all the way from glacier into valleys. And these are some of the photos that's been taken, and it literally looks like a blood red color. And it's deep in Antarctica, and they've already named it as the Blood Falls Glacier, which is pouring out crimson water, a haunting sight. Scientists have said that it's probably because of the iron-rich water oxidizing as it meets with the air, and it's probably like rusting out. But there could also be a much deeper meaning to all of this stuff. We have a couple more pictures here, but the Bible also speaks about the same thing, where it states that God will be turning water into blood as a sign of judgment and a call for repentance, which is mentioned in Exodus chapter 7, verse 20, and Revelation chapter 16, verse 4.
I think it's always a good time to repent. I think it's always a good time to go towards God. I don't think it should just be when the rivers turn red. I think you should be doing this all day, every day. All day, every day. But, yeah.
While this phenomenon has a natural explanation, that it serves as a striking reminder of how creation echoes biblical truth. Now just take a look at this water and tell me how in the world does it not look like blood? And this is happening out of all the places in the world in Antarctica. And everything, the entire glacier water is now turning red in color. Because obviously it's not just about the water turning red, because we have some more crazy things that's also happening at the same time right now. Because just take a look at what scientists have now confirmed is happening to our moon. Because this right here is the official website of NASA, where they have now said that the moon is rusting. And apparently they caught a heat signature image of what the moon.
Yeah, the moon is rusting apparently, which it really confuses me, because I thought rust was oxidization. What causes rust? What causes rust? Rust is a type of corrosion that occurs when iron reacts with oxygen and water. This chemical reaction is called oxidation. Yeah, so in order for you to have rust on the moon, you need to have iron, water, and oxygen on the moon. This has got to be wrong. I was planning on researching this before I came on, but how can the moon rust if there's no oxygen? It makes no sense. The moon appears to be rusting. Despite having no significant atmosphere or oxygen, big scientists believe trace amounts of oxygen from Earth's magnetic field combined with the water ice on the lunar surface and dust impacts can create the conditions necessary for iron oxide to form. Even in such limited environment, this phenomenon is still being researched and is considered puzzling due to the harsh lunar conditions. Yeah, it makes no sense. The moon's been there for how many thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of years? And only now it starts rusting? We've always had water. We've always had oxygen. There's always been magnetic fields. There's always been what they call, not asteroids, comets made out of ice flying past and spreading the ice crystals. Yeah, I don't know. I call bullshit on this still. I call bullshit on this, and I've not seen this moon actually turning red. Like, he'll show a picture in a second, but I think it's been photoshopped a little bit, honestly.
Currently looks like, and it seems like all of these red spots that you're seeing the moon, this probably seems like the moon is completely rusting every single year, and over time it seems like the moon is turning into red color. Just take a look at this video, which is from the Gospel of Love on Instagram, where he actually explains on what's going on with the moon.
This was never supposed to happen, and yes, a biblical deadly event is happening right now to our moon, and there may be nothing left for us very soon. NASA was shocked when a man had taken over 2,000 extremely high-resolution photos of...
Look at that stuff, guys. It's literally just...
Maybe it's just always been that color. High def pictures. Like, obviously we didn't have high def pictures back in the day, and if I was to stand outside and look at the moon, I wouldn't see this reddishness. This is only because of the telescope and the high definition lens. Maybe it's always had that color, but because of the way that red works, I think it's one of the weaker colors. So when it's being reflected, it doesn't actually show up as red unless it was completely red. I think it's called like red shift or something. Red basically isn't a great color. Green is a fantastic color. Green you could see from miles and miles and miles away, and obviously if the moon was green, you'd see it easy. But red is a bit dodge. So maybe it's always been red. I know that people were saying when the lunar eclipse happens, the Earth comes between the sun and the moon can tint red, and then they go, oh look, that's Bible prophecy. The red moon, and it's like, okay, yeah, we've had about 16 red moons since 2000. Which one is the one for the prophecy? Which one? So I guess this is the new theory, is that, oh no, once the entire moon rusts over, that's the prophecy being fulfilled. Or maybe it's already been fulfilled because it's slightly reddish. I don't know. Let's have a quick look at the comments, and then I'll carry on. Just the truth says, I've been looking into Nostradamus prophecies. Have you looked at them? Not for years. Honestly, like I said, it was one of those things that it was open to interpretation, and if it was prophecies that man can have a hand in, then it's like, well, it's a lot harder to go, yeah, it's a divine prophecy. It's easier to say that it's a bunch of people who knew secrets of the world, who knew that we're in a cyclical cycle, and went, hey, look, we're going to build really tall buildings one day, or look, we're going to do this one day, so we can make prophecies that are kind of related to this kind of thing. And then when those things happen, we'll go, oh, look, God. Business says, I dreamt of a horseman with rabies. Be careful of what you dream about. Happy thoughts. Jin says, imagine dying one day before the judgment day. Is that a good or bad thing? Oh, you missed the greatest show on earth, but you get to avoid the greatest show on earth because you're part of it. So yeah, it's a bit of both. It's good or bad depending on what you want. Do you want to be part of the greatest show on earth, or do you want to be out of here before the greatest show on earth starts and watch it from the sidelines? Jit says, my friend thinks the red color comes from all the Korean babies that Jews have been... What? I am so confused. Korean babies are being killed by Jews? Jews are the good guys. They're not even in charge. Biz says, YouTube is a narrator twerking, or is vid sped up 1.5, just because it's a 20-minute video, and I have patience, but I don't know if you guys do. I can sit and watch it and chill. Just Drew says, probably taking LSD, lol. Geisha says, hello, welcome back, Geisha. Biz says Big Nose thinks he's Don Trump and the man is Zelensky. Is that what he said? Did he call me Zelensky? Oh, is that because he was trying to negotiate with me and I wouldn't be like, oh, Big Nose, you're so powerful and amazing. Thank you so much for letting me come, or letting you come onto my stream to talk. Is that what it is? I've not been watching his streams. Is that exactly what he said, or is it something else? He could think what he thinks. He could think what he thinks. It is what it is. Gage, just to say hello to Geisha. Okay. Geisha says Big Nose is Netanyahu's apartheid brother. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with Netanyahu? No, I'm joking. Netanyahu's a bit iffy in my books. But what's all the Jewish hatred? What's all the Jewish hatred about today? Like a couple of messages taking jabs at the Jews. Biz says hearing the trumpet is a metaphor for the Trump presidency. Geisha says mainstream Christianity contains multiple doomsday contradictions. I believe so. Like, there's some people who believe in the pre-trib, post-trib, no trib, and just straight rapture, and yeah, there's all sorts of different theories. But we'll see which one I've got. I've got Christian eschatology lined up, but which denomination? Who knows? And the thing is, they can't all agree, can they? They can't agree on it themselves. I guess like the Muslims, you got the 3-4 different sects of Islam where they can't agree with the eschatology of the end as well. Because I know that the Sunnis believe that the Mahdi will come and do something, where the Shia believe that the Mahdi is already alive and he's going to come and he's going to be from the lineage of Hussein or something like that. It gets complicated. It gets complicated with these guys, especially the Muslims. But essentially, no one can 100% agree on the eschatology for the end, which is probably a good thing, because you shouldn't know the end of the book before you read it. You know, it's nice to have some surprises. This says Lieutenant is on the PIP. Can someone tell me what the hell PIP is? What the hell's PIP? Payment Improvement Plan? Performance Improvement Plan. Is that what that is? PIP. Just the Truth says, yeah, she gets job seekers allowance and PIP. Oh, what is PIP? I'm gonna have to ask Google. You guys are useless. Come on, guys, tell me what PIP is. PIP stands for Personal Independence Payment, a benefit that helps people with long-term disabilities or health conditions pay for extra living costs. Oh, you guys are being mean. You guys are being mean for the sake of being mean. Oh, personal injury payments. Okay. The YouTube one says personal independence payment. So if you've got a disability or long-term health condition, then they pay you extra money. Biz says unbelievable, and Jitten says I love the Jews taking jabs at people who believe in Jewish blood libels. Biz says very interesting stream to man. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Jitten says Hussein the king of Jordan. No, I think Hussein the son of Muhammad or something. I don't know. It's family tree stuff. You'd have to ask the Mahdi, what's his face, the guided one, if he's able to tell you about it. But he'll have a better understanding of the Shia perspective, or I hope he does, of the Shia perspective of the eschatology there. But it says personal injury payments, thank you. Alrighty, let's crack on with the video. There was something I wanted to say. Oh yes, Jitten says, I love the Jews taking jabs at people who believe in Jewish bloodlines. What if I told you my grandfather was Abraham? What if I said my grandfather was Abraham? Would you believe me? Would that mean I'm a Jew? Or a Christian? Or a Muslim? What would it mean? Yeah, so I'll leave that for now. Oh, you did mean blood libels. I don't know what libels means. Blood libels. Let me Google that. Blood libels. Blood libel refers to the false allegation that Jews use the blood of non-Jewish, usually Christian children for ritual. Oh, okay. Okay, that's crazy. That's nuts. Okay. And I guess that's why you were saying they were killing babies. Or unaliving babies, in case YouTube cries about me using that word. Okay. So you're saying taking jabs at the people who believe in Jewish blood libels. Ah, gotcha, Jitten. Gotcha. You're defending the Jews. Gotcha. Gotcha. So we're on the same page now. We're on the same page. I'm a little bit slow. Just a little bit. All right, let's crack on with this.
Turning into orange, rustic, reddish color. And that's basically what's happening. And it's also something that the Bible has already predicted.
Spots of the moon turning blood red, and scientists are terrified. The Bible in Joel 2 talks about the sun turning into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and the terrible day of when the Lord comes.
Now, obviously, keep this in mind that God already
Yeah, so the moon turning into the sun turning into darkness, like he said there. If they're gonna claim a eclipse is a sign of the prophecy, I'm gonna be like, like.
said that he's going to be turning.
It's just an eclipse, and eclipses happen every year, and now this one happens to happen at the same time. It's like as the one that you want it to, with the blood moon. And like I said, lunar eclipses and solar eclipses have happened all the time, where the sun's gone black and the moon's gone red. But you know, the world didn't end. It didn't end, did it? Or maybe it did, and we just don't know about it. Maybe we're just in a different timeline. But yeah, let's see.
The moon into blood. Now that basically means that the moon is going to be turning into red color. So that's kind of the symbolization that God used in order to refer that the moon is going to be turning into blood red. And this could also be the same case for all the water that we're seeing that is currently turning into red blood color as well, because that could also end up being some sort of a symbolization where God said that he's going to turn it into red blood color, and it's going to be some sort of a sign that people are supposed to look at it, and it's going to be a wake-up call in order to strengthen our faith and start repenting for our sins, because we are so close to the final judgment day that is coming up. Because all the evidence are definitely stating that we seem to probably be very close to the final judgment day. The things, however, does not end with just this. But the Bible also states that before Jesus comes back, there is going to be a massive sign that the entire world will be able to see that this is indeed one of the biggest prophecies that's coming true, which is the Euphrates River that is now completely drying up. Because this right here is what the Euphrates River used to look like before. But now, looking at the way that it's completely getting dried up every single year, this is what was recorded in 2021. And currently in 2025, it looks even more drier than what you're looking at in the picture. Just take a look at what's really going on in.
Yeah, I've been watching this Euphrates for a little while. This has been going on for about a good 10 years as well. I think I first noticed it around 2010. About the Euphrates drying up slowly but surely. So I'm not sure why this is new news, as if it's happening in 2025. Let me just Google it. Nope. Yeah, so it says the Euphrates River has been drying up for decades and is expected to dry up completely by 2040. So it's not completely dry. However, in this particular location where this video is being made, it does dry up. So it's not completely dry yet.
The Euphrates River,
the Euphrates River continues to dry up as prophesied within the Bible. This is an amazing footage I came across from 2020 in comparison to 2021 in the same spot. You'll see right now, here's 2020. You'll see how full it is, and you'll see here in a moment.
So this is basically how it looks like in 2020. And over time, you'll see how it
just
kind of just completely changes.
Just absolutely seeing Bible prophecy in front of our eyes. And this we
So just take a look at this. The water is like all the way up till the roof of this building.
know will come to pass because of Revelation 16:12, when the sixth angel pours out his vial on the river Euphrates, and the water therefore is dried up, so the kings of the east can be prepared. So that was 2020, and as you can see here, 2021, and the river is completely dried up. We aren't at the part of Revelation where the angels are pouring out their vials, but it's moving towards this.
This is the same location. Like I said, look at this place. It was completely
Yeah, so you can see that it's pretty dry. That is pretty dry.
Where the angels are pouring out their vials, but it's
However, it's not completely dried up. This section of the Euphrates River may have dried up, but the rest of the Euphrates River still exists, you know? So it's not completely dry.
moving towards this.
This is the same location. Like I said, look at this place. It was completely filled with water, and it was filled almost at the roof level of this building.
This morning on
But that prophecy, that's something more I can believe in, you know? If someone said, oh, this river will dry up in just before the end happens, and then obviously that river starts drying up without any man intervention. Obviously, if they've built dams on the Euphrates River, and that's what's causing these dry spells, then I'm going to call bullshit. I'm going to go, okay, it's not Bible prophecy, it's man getting involved to fulfill Bible prophecy. It's not actually happening naturally. You know, it's not happening because God made it happen. It's happening because man decided to intervene and try and make it happen.
It was filled almost at the roof level of this building, and right now it's completely dry. There's literally barely
Also, just to be fair, this video here, this video that this guy's reacting to, was made by a Christian because he mentioned Revelations in there. So honestly, we don't know how accurate the information is. Maybe that wasn't a year's worth of water disappearing. Maybe that was 4 years of water disappearing, but he just thought it sounded cooler to say, oh, this happened in 2020, and now look at it in 2021, only a year later. Look, Bible prophecy being fulfilled. Look, Revelations. You know, everyone's always got an angle that they're trying to sell. So obviously, like I said, with this whole video being titled "The Bible Prophecy Has Begun" and talking about blood red rivers, which is technically the third trumpet, that means we're already 2 trumpets in, and we're already now on the third. It's like, wait, where's the other 2 trumpets? Where's the other 2 trumpets? Let me just look up what the other trumpets are. 7 trumpets. Just so we know what the first 2 are. Alright, the first trumpet is trees and grass are struck by fire and hail mixed with blood. Okay, yeah, we've seen trees and grass on fire, but not the hail mixed with blood yet, I don't think. Second trumpet, a third of the sea turns to blood, a third of the ships sink, and a third of the ocean life dies. I don't think we've seen that yet either. Although he will show a bit of something interesting that's happening in the water. I think in this video or the next video. But yeah, not to do with anything dying though. It's about fish coming out of the water, but nothing dying. So yeah, we haven't even hit the first 2. We haven't even hit the first 2, and he's talking about the third one. You know what I mean? He's got an angle. He's got a Christian channel where he wants to scare people into converting, I guess, or pushing this narrative that confirms to Christian believers that, hey, look, we are right all along, rather than actually, you know, like I always say, connecting with God. You know, instead of people connecting with God, they're connecting more with the text and the prophecies and the, oh no, look, it's all coming to an end, rather than, hey, this is an opportunity for me to connect with God. But let's keep this going.
Any water that you can see on the land.
Time.
This is the current level of what Euphrates River looks like.
Giving a warning for people to actually see that the Bible is real and to get their hearts completely right before the angel pours his vial on the river and it's completely dried up, and the 4 angels that are bound there are loosed. That will cause absolute havoc upon the earth, as mentioned in Revelation 9:13-15.
Now, I don't know how many of you guys have already read the scriptures, but it seems like bad things are going to be happening when the river completely dries up, because some angel is going to be dropping some sort of a vial from heaven in this completely dried up Euphrates River, and that's going to be breaking open the ground. And there are these 3 or 4 fallen angels that God has chained them up all the way down beneath the Euphrates River, and he basically sunk the whole place. That's probably why we had river for all these years. But now it seems like they are going to get released, and once they do, they're going to be killing 1/3 of the entire humankind. It seems like one of the biggest prophecies of all time, the Euphrates River, has now officially come true. Now, obviously, it's just a couple of years from now before this river completely decides to go dry, because this is not only written in the Bible, but it's also in the Quran, and that's like the majority of religion all around the world. It's not just this, guys, because the Bible also prophesies that Israel is going to be finding 3 red heifer cows, which they will be using in order to sacrifice these cows, which are spotless, and they're going to be looking red in color. And obviously, we might think, how's that even possible? How are cows going to look red in color, right? I know, but it seems like that has once again come true as well. Because in Texas, it seems like a Christian cattle farmer noticed that his cow gave birth to exactly 3 red heifers, which are completely spotless, and they are red in color. So as soon as they saw these calves, they realized that this is exactly what the prophecies have been saying, and the local church...
Actually, if I remember correctly, they found 5 red heifers. 5 or 6 red heifers, and as the years have gone by, there's certain conditions, if I remember correctly from a video I watched, that the red heifers can't be older than a certain age. They cannot be used in any kind of work. So you can't put like a plow on the back of the red cows and use them to plow the land. They're not allowed to have any work done with them, and they should be completely blemish free. They can't have any marks or anything on them. But yeah, there was about 5 or 6 that were found, and as time has gone by, some of them have been eliminated from the running, and I think there's only 3 left at the moment. So he's correct on that. There's only 3 at the moment, but he said that they found only 3, or they found 3, and that was the prophecy. No, they found more than 3, but there's 3 left.
came down to take a visit at these cows, and they saw that, yes, it's exactly what was described in the Bible. So they ended up contacting Israel in order to ship these 3 red heifers all the way to Israel so that the prophecies can be fulfilled. And currently, Israel has the 3 red heifers, which is also mentioned in the Bible, that they're going to be sacrificing these 3 heifers in order to use their ashes in all the equipments that's going to be used when they're going to be building the 3rd temple in Jerusalem. Which obviously we know that there is a massive war going on in Israel, and it's obviously about the religious.
This morning on Take It Off Today,
So many adverts on this. I think it's because I keep pausing it, but it is what it is.
viral with 12
war, and they're basically trying to take over Gaza, and all of this war that's going on.
I saw a video the other day saying that they're going to start building the temple, and then I saw another video that said that they started building the temple years ago, like in 2020. I'm confused. Have they already built the temple? Are they still building the temple? Or have they just been really slow at building the temple? Maybe because they're waiting for the Moshiach to come and build the temple. I don't know. We'll see.
On right now, it's basically all because of this 3rd temple that Israel wants to be constructing, and obviously other reasons are being used in order to indulge between the feud that all these nations are having. The main reason is only because they want their promised lands back, and they want to be building the 3rd temple after sacrificing these 3 red heifers and fulfilling the prophecy that is mentioned in the Bible, because they believe that only when they do this, their Messiah is going to be coming back once again, which is the 2nd coming of Jesus Christ. Another very interesting thing that's really happening as of now, this fish right over here, which is a fish that only lives all the way deep inside the ocean. It never comes all the way up to the shore, but for some reason, it seems like this fish, which is known as the black demon, also known as the anglerfish, it is now swimming all the way from deep ocean to the shore side for God knows what reason. It seems like they are afraid of something that's living deep inside the water. But obviously, take a look at this video. It's very interesting.
No, because why is the black demon, aka anglerfish, coming up from the depths of the sea? This fish lives 6,000 feet below the surface. It would have taken this fish days to travel to the surface. I mean, days, even weeks maybe, because they get the bends just like we do. Hold on, let's get closer so I can really explain to you why I'm terrified of this. What the fuck is down there in the deep ocean that made this scared?
I mean, look at this stuff, man. It's one of those
It looks scary, but it's a small fish compared to the big fish down there. It's a small fish compared to the big fish. And it looks scary, but the other fish can't see its face. The other fish aren't like, oh, he looks like a meanie. No, the reason it's called an anglerfish is because you see this little thing that's coming off the top of its head. It's a little light bulb. It's a little light bulb that in the deep, deep, dark 6,000 feet below ocean where there's no light getting there, it's just pitch black. It's pitch black and it has this little light that other fish will come and try and bite onto it, and then it kind of lures the other fish in using this little light, and then it eats them. So it doesn't matter what the hell this fish looks like. Nobody can see it down there. Nobody can see it. So yeah, going acting like, oh, what made this scary looking guy come up? Like, well, he's like a badass. Why? No, he's not a badass. He's just a tiny fish, and it's only one. It's only one. If about 100 of them came up, then you go, okay, that's weird. If one comes up, you go, Dory? Is it Dory, the lost fish?
Terrifying predator fish that doesn't come all the way up in the shore. It only lives.
Oh no, not Dory. Nemo. Finding Nemo.
Deep in the ocean, and it never comes all the way up here because that is just not usual. But apparently, it is happening. They seem to be afraid of something, probably just a Vogue. Some people say that it's the Leviathan, which, according to the Bible, is a massive serpent that is still alive inside the ocean.
And want to come up to the surface. We haven't explored 91% of the ocean. There's no telling what is down there. We've never even been to the deep sea because it's too dark and too cold. Little mama had though, and she said, nope, I'm leaving. Are thousands, if not millions, of unknown species in the deep sea. What did she see that made her go to the surface? Because these fish don't, this is the first time ever in history we have seen a live anglerfish, and it didn't live for much longer. She passed away like 2 hours later.
Wow.
Something terrifying is down there.
And just take a look at what's going on right now. Look at the amount of fish
cool.
that has literally come out into the ocean. Now tell me, how is all of this even normal? It doesn't look normal, guys. It really doesn't look normal.
Yeah, this one's a bit weird. There's just like loads of fish that have just ended up beaching themselves. We know that whales sometimes beach themselves. Dolphins can sometimes beach sharks. We know some fish and mammal fish can end up beaching themselves. So this is a bit crazy. Don't know if it's something to do with the Earth's magnetic field and the way that these fish actually travel that is causing this to happen, or whether it is literally just because there's some big giant snake in the water scaring them away. You know what I mean? What is it? Is it a big water snake that's scaring these fish into all these little tiny fish all the way up here? Or is it maybe something to do with the Earth's magnetic fields? Because the thing is, Earth's magnetic field has been constantly changing for the last 30 odd years. It used to be like up towards Canada, and it's been slowly moving over like the North Pole. It's been moving over the North Pole and moving closer to Russia, Siberia. And then the South Pole's been doing the same. It's been moving from the South Pole towards more South America. So this changes things happening to our magnetic field that protects us around the Earth and that gives guidance to maybe birds and fish. I know that they said that birds possibly use like the electromagnetic field to navigate. Possibly fish do as well, because the magnetic fields can permeate anything. Almost anything. But the Earth ones can, because they're strong enough. And then also we've had like a lot of solar activity in the last couple of years that could be causing issues with the Earth's magnetic field. Like, you know, when some of you guys might have seen the northern lights yourselves in areas that you wouldn't typically see northern lights. That's because of the Earth's magnetic field getting a little knuckle cheese sandwich from the sun. The sun's giving it a knuckle cheese sandwich with extra cheese. And then we get some northern lights. So potentially this is just because of the electromagnetic field being affected and causing the fish to just keep swimming rather than stopping and end up beaching themselves. And especially because these kind of fish, obviously they swim in schools. So schools of fish typically just follow the one in front of it, and that one follows the one in front of it, and that one follows the one in front of it. You know, they kind of move together by just looking at who's around them and moving with them. So if all of the electromagnetic things are messed up and they're just going, oh yeah, we've got plenty of ocean in front of us, we're fine, we're good. When the first one hits the beach, the last one doesn't know until he hits the beach. And then he's like, oh shit, we're on the beach. You know what I mean? So, yeah, like I said, I think sometimes people are trying to look for some confirmation bias, rather than actually look at things from a neutral perspective with logic. Let's have a quick look at the chat. D's back in the house, says Ecclesiastes 3:8, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. Hello. James 5:8, be ye also patient, stylish your heart. Have a stylish heart. No, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. Charito, welcome back. D say, BibleBot is at it today. BibleBot says, Isaiah 17:11, the burden of Damascus, behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city, and it shall be a ruinous heap. Matthew 24:27, for as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. Meaning all over the world, I guess. From the west to the east. D says, look at Leviathan 2. Yeah, I've got the Leviathan video lined up after this one. I thought we'll check out the videos that you mentioned. Like I said, I'm going to talk about them honestly. I will talk about them honestly, and I will call the bullshit for when I see bullshit. And if there is something that's like, oh, wow, okay, that's interesting, I will be honest about that too. D says, Revelation 8:11, and the name of the star is called Wormwood, and the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters, because they were made bitter. Interesting. D says, Matthew 16:3, and in the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but ye cannot discern the signs of the times. And in the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and okay, that goes back to the video I did the other day in regards to red sky at night, shepherd's delight, red sky in the morning, shepherd's warning. Yes. O hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times? Yeah, we're there. We're close to the end times. I'm just like, hey, you know what? It is what it is. I hoped we could fix whatever's going on. If we can't fix it, it is what it is. It is what it is. But I still have faith. I still have hope. You know, I still have hope. We can still turn this around. Okay, we can still turn this around. Don't let the doomsday people make you panic. It's all a state of mind. Don't let them control the way you think. Don't let them control your hope or your fear. Charito says, people say Big Nose gets very excited when he sees a Muslim at Speaker's Corner. His silk half-gloved hands go straight into his no-pocket rain jacket. Don't get the reference if it's meant to be a joke. Biz says he just mentioned me as a jealous and devious 4 minutes ago. He calls me Bizney because he's illiterate. Guys, chill out. Don't worry about it. Leave them to it. If someone else's, if your name is in someone else's mouth, you're in their head. You're living in their head rent free. You know what I mean? Just leave them to it. Just leave them to it. D says not Dora on Finding Nemo. Yeah, Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo. Not Finding Nemo. Do not find Nemo. Do not find Nemo. Do not find Nemo. Leave him alone. Charito says, don't worry, Biz. I have it on good authority. He's being investigated for suspicious behavior at Speaker's Corner, e.g. loitering, and that's why he's scared to return. Leave it alone, guys. Leave it alone. It is what it is. Let the poor man grow. It may take him some time, but he's hopefully trying. Hopefully he's trying. If he's not, then he'll circle the drain to destruction. And then, you know, you could laugh at that if you want to be mean. But, yeah, have hope. Have faith. Think positive. On others especially, you know. Like I said the other day, we shouldn't be casting judgments on others. Trust me, for me personally, I can tell you from my personal life, I make mistakes all the damn time. Okay, I do things that piss people off. I do things that upset other people. I do things that upset you guys. You know what I mean? I do stupid shit all the time. I would hope that I don't get judged on that as completely evil, and that people will see another side of me. And maybe we should do the same for Nose. Maybe we should do the same for Nose. D says Luke 21:11, and great earthquakes shall be in your divers places, and famines, and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. Matthew 24:7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in divers places. He says Isaiah 27:1. In that day the Lord with his sore and great strong sword shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent, and he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea. Dun dun dun. Well, I am the golden dragon. And I know from Bible prophecy the dragon has a great fall and then turns into the red dragon. So I prepare for a great fall, just in case. You never know what happens with me. Prepare for a great fall, if I am that dragon. Or he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea. And if I'm the dragon in the sea, I shall be slayed soon. By who? But in that day the Lord with his sword and great strong sword. Oh, by the Lord. So the Lord shall slay me soon. One of the two, if you believe in the Christian stuff. I'm hoping the Jews are right. Honestly. Of all the eschatology, the Jews are the ones that are like, and in the end, everyone lived in peace. The end. They're the only ones who are like, and everyone lived happily ever after. With the Muslims, it's like, and then God killed half the armies, and 90% of the world, and then the Muslims lived happily ever after. With the Christians, it's like, oh, and the Christians were taken up to heaven and everyone else on earth was punished and the Christians lived happily ever after. The Jewish eschatology is like, and the Messiah returned and he put the Jews in power, and then the Jews in power brought peace to the world with the assistance of the Messiah. And everybody lived happily ever after. I'd hope the Jews are right on this one so far. Especially since I'm a dragon. Everyone else seems to be hating on me. D says Psalms 104:26. There go the ships. There is that Leviathan whom thou hast made to play therein. D says, yeah, be honest, DD. We all look and seek truth. Love the reading. Hope no one chooses to go through the tribulation, DD. Cool. In regards to the truth, being honest and trying to seek truth, in regards to Leviathan, we'll watch the video in a second, but in regards to Leviathan, my opinion is that the beast in the sea isn't a literal beast in the ocean. as I've said in my other analogy, the world is like being underwater. Being in heaven is like flying, and I'm surfing the waves. Whereas the beast will live inside the world, meaning that where people are, aka, like right now we have like the one world government, the people who are really secretly in control, the ones who have been pushing for this whole thing of you cannot buy or sell or do anything unless you got the permission of the government. The government is the beast that lives in the sea. The sea being the world. The government is the beast that lives in the sea. That's Leviathan. And then obviously I think the other one is, I can't remember the other. There's two monsters. There's Leviathan and something else. I can't remember the other one. We'll call him King Kong for now. Leviathan versus King Kong, because I'm thinking Godzilla versus King Kong. So Leviathan versus King Kong. So King Kong is the one that's up on dry land, but fights the beast, aka the government. D says Job 41:1. Canst thou draw out Leviathan with the nook, or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down? I guess not, because it's not a literal fish. Charita says, let's put it this way. Big Nose half woolen gloves are not for keeping him warm. Biz says they've been saying we in the end times for 2,000 years. They have been. That's what I mean. And every so often there will be someone who comes along and says this is the end. Now it could be a situation where the timelines have splintered off, and maybe in that world it did end, and in this world it carried on. We don't know. But what we do know is that they have been saying this for a very long time, that it's round the corner. But I actually do think it's round the corner. I actually think we're very, very, very close. Not because of Bible, not because of Quran, not because of anything like that, but just because of the state of the world, the way it is at the moment. I don't see it being very sustainable if we keep going forwards in this way. And I think at some point we will have to hit the reset button. I'd rather not, but I'll hit that damn button if I have to. Ooh, pow! Let's go. Time to go. These is, yes, get them out of your head. They need our help over there. Yeah. D says 1,000 years is only a day for God. 2 Peter 3:8. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. D says we all make mistakes. Mistakes is not a sin. Sin is sin, and God gave us grace. If we accept, for the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life. There was 2 Leviathan God destroyed at the parting of the Red Sea. Oh, I did not know that. I'll have to look into that. But it says Big Nose is not trying. He's attacking 24/7 over on his stream, and he's admitting to being drunk on whiskey again, or at least drinking at the moment. Yeah, but think about how much attention you give him, and then he knows that he's getting a reaction out of you, so he will keep doing it, because he's like, oh, at least he's watching me, at least because I keep mentioning Biz or Bizney, because I keep mentioning him, he keeps watching me, and then that increases his viewer count. If you don't like it, walk away. Nobody can force you to stay where you don't want to stay, and if you're there because you want to be there, then it is what it is. Roll with the punches. D says praise for nose. Yes, praise for everyone. D says Jews are not right. They are blindfolded most at this time until the time of the Gentiles come in. Well, like I said, I don't know. The Jews seem to be trying to go for peace, whereas everyone else seems to be trying to destroy all the bad guys. Everyone wants to destroy everyone else. Whereas, at least from what I've heard from the Jews that I've been listening to, they talk about how the plowshares will be turned... No, sorry, it's not the plowshares. The weapons will be turned into plowshares, and there will be peace over the earth. That's essentially what they are aiming for. Whereas everyone else is aiming for Like I said, the Christians are saying everyone else will die except the Christians and they'll go to heaven. The Muslims are saying everyone else will die except the Muslims and they'll get to heaven. And at least the Jews are like, hey, heaven will come down to us and we'll have peace here. You know, that sounds more like my cup of tea. That sounds like my cup of tea at the moment, I'm not going to lie. And honestly, over the last year, as I've been watching these Jewish channels, Hasidis, when I've been watching these Hasidic channels, I've agreed with a lot of what they said, because a lot of it, what they said, has been on my channel. It'll be talking about self-reflection. It'll be talking about how to focus the mind. It'll be talking about how to, and these are all parts of their teachings. You know what I mean? So a lot of what they said, I kind of agree with. Doesn't mean I trust them, but it does mean that I like what they say, because it's what I'm saying. It seems to be what I'm saying, so it's all good for me at the moment. And like I said, since they're saying that they want peace at the end, I would hope they're telling the truth. And if they are telling the truth, that peace sounds good. Peace sounds good. D says Romans 11:25. For I would not, brethren, that ye should not, ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should. Oh God, all the ye's. Yeah, lest ye should be wise in ye own conceits, that blindness in part is happened to Israel, until the fullness of the Gentiles to be come in. Of the Gentiles be come in. Jet says, gotta go. Good night, everyone. Take it easy, Jen. Good to see you while you were here, bro. Business says 1988 is Dragon. Yes, that's what I am, sir. 1988, a dragon. Also, I like Dragon Ball Z. I like Fairy Tail. If you've not watched Fairy Tail, it's about dragons there as well. Beyblade. There was Dragneel as one of the Beyblade character things. Yeah, dragons are awesome. Dragons are awesome. I think they get given a bad name. Especially the good dragons. Especially the good dragons. Obviously, you know I'm calling myself a good dragon. DD says, DD surfing. Everybody's gone surfing. Yep, everybody's gone surfing. Surfing USA. D says time will tell, discernment is needed. Yep, for sure. Luke 21:24, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. D says, Didi, you are not hitting any button. God will judge and create the new heaven and earth. No, I'm saying if I had a choice. If I had a choice, I'd hit the button. You know, I'd be like, do you know what? Let's start this again. Let's start this again. Screw this. Let's get it right next time. Let's get it right next time. Or I could press the button next to it and just go game over for everyone. That's it. Nobody wins. Nobody wins. We all lose. Or the third button. Everybody wins. Which button would you want to hit? Start again? Nobody wins? Or everybody wins? 3 choices. Which one would you hit? D says, buckle down, Didi. You are going to be in for a wave. You won't be able to surf out of tidal wave. No, for sure. Tidal waves are a bit more serious than a normal wave. D says, aiming for bridegroom, come to take the bride away, then destruction, then new heaven and earth. D says, 1 Corinthians 4:5, therefore judge nothing before the time until the Lord come, who both will bring to light the hidden things of darkness, and will make manifest the counsels of the hearts, and then shall every man have praise of God. Galatians 4:2, but is under tutors and governors until the time appointed of the Father. The Father. Ravioli talking in Arabic. If you want to give us the English translation, please. D says, KDD, get it right the first time. No next time. Well, it's not up to me. It's up to everyone, isn't it? If everyone gets it right the first time. If they don't get it right, one of them buttons have got to be hit. One of them buttons has got to be hit. Which one would you choose? Start again, everybody wins, or nobody wins. Which button would you choose? Biz says, many will be judged for allowing filth to fester. D says filthy sin is judged if we don't have the savior. Ravioli says good evening everyone. Cool. Alright, I'm gonna play a quick song. I'm gonna take a little break, play a quick song, and then we'll be back and we'll watch. Should we watch the rest of this? It just goes on to a Leviathan stuff, and the rainforest fires, and then the locusts. Yeah, he just kind of repeats himself, but he mentions a couple of other things. But we'll go to the Leviathan video next. I think hopefully it's just a short one. But let's play a quick song. And I'll be back when I'll be back.
Yeah, I've been through the shadows, walked in the night, seen the world get heavy, try to crush my light. The hope keeps burning deep in my soul, the flame that won't fade, yeah, it keeps me whole. When life gets rough and the clouds roll in, hope is the anchor that pulls me again. In the darkest of times, when all seems lost, hope breaks through no matter the cost. Hope never dies, it shines through the pain, through every storm, every drop of rain. When the world goes dim and I'm down to my knees, hope lifts me up, sets my spirit free. They say light can't shine without a little dark. Hope's that spark, yeah, it ignites the heart. When the path ain't clear and the road feels long, hope gives me strength, makes me strong. I've seen despair try to steal my fight, but hope keeps pushing like day through night. It's a voice in my head saying keep going strong, tells me I'm right where I belong. Hope never dies, it shines through the pain, through every storm, every drop of rain. When the world goes dim and I'm down to my knees, hope lifts me up, sets my spirit free. Hope's like the sun after endless rain. It's a light that heals, it's a balm for pain. It don't fade, don't break, don't bend. It's the beat of my heart, my forever friend. So when I'm lost, I look to the sky. Hope's in the stars, it's the reason why. Why stand, why rise, why I keep on fighting. Hope's my armor when the world starts biting. It whispers, hold on, don't give up yet. Through every tear, through every regret, hope's the fire that never goes out. Through every struggle, every doubt, hope never dies, it shines through the pain, through every storm, every drop of rain. When the world goes dim and I'm down to my knees, hope lifts me up, sets my spirit free. Hope's like the sun after endless rain. It's a light that heals, it's a balm for pain. It don't fade, don't break, don't bend. It's the beat of my heart, my forever friend. So when I'm lost, I look to the sky. Hope's in the stars, it's the reason why. Why I stand, why I rise, why I keep on fighting. Hope's my armor when the world starts biting. It whispers, hold on, don't give up yet. Through every tear, through every regret, hope's the fire that never goes out. Through every struggle, every doubt, through every struggle, every doubt, hope never dies.
Alrighty, welcome back. All right, now let's watch this video from the same guy, Blackwoods. He's talking about the massive Leviathan threat 5 days ago, and the Bible warned us about it. Like I said, I think I've seen this one. I don't think I watched all of it. I only watched the first couple of minutes, but honestly, I was watching this and I was going, bullshit. But let's see what the video is. Obviously, this first video is AI generated, so ignore most of the videos because a lot of the clips he uses are fake.
A few more hits lately. This image has many suspecting that a giant sea creature is lurking in New Zealand waters. An engineer reportedly spotted the being in the Oki Bay while researching the area before heading there for vacation.
There's some very weird things happening in the ocean right now. And it seems like even the most dangerous predators, like the hunter whale, are now running out of the ocean to the shore side because they seem to be afraid of something that's happening inside the ocean right now. And a fishing boat near Greece captured a
See, once again, he's like, oh, look, the fish are going towards the shore. That means that they're scared of something in the ocean. No, they've been doing this for years. They've been doing this for years. The amount of whales that have ended up on the beach over the last 100,000 years. Well, I was going to say 100 to 1,000 years, but I went and said 100,000 years. From the last 100 to the last 1,000 years, there's been a lot. There's been a lot. It doesn't mean that they're scared of something in the ocean. It just means that either they're about to die, they're confused, they may be, like I said, with the old Earth's magnetic field, because of that changing, maybe that's causing some issues, you know? Maybe there's some environmental factors. Maybe it's just where they were hunting for food was dried out, so they went looking for food elsewhere because of all the overfishing. You know, there's a million different reasons. Not one of them says Leviathan, except the Bible. And that's where I say that these guys start fitting the narrative when it suits, but not because of evidence. Unless he's got evidence for a Leviathan, you know. He's said there's a massive Leviathan threat. Let's see if he's able to prove it.
footage in the ocean that's currently shocking the entire world, because what I'm going to be showing you in that footage is actually crazy. Let's first take a look at what's currently happening in the ocean. Now, many people have been speculating that the reason why even the most terrifying sea creatures are now scared of something that's actually living inside the ocean that seems to have been awakened after all these years is probably known to be a creature called the Leviathan.
Oh.
Picture this.
How are we on an advert literally a minute into the video? Come on, YouTube, sort it out.
Deadlines.
Now, Leviathan is a creature that's mentioned in the ancient scriptures of Torah, Bible, as well as Quran. And this creature is also mentioned in the Hindu scriptures, which is said to be a creature that will awaken during the end times. And this creature in the Norse mythology is also known as the world serpent, which is extremely huge in size, that it can literally just swallow an entire nation. So that's the kind of size of this beast that we're dealing with that lives under the ocean. Now, of course, this is something a lot of people have been speculating that this could be one of the reasons as to why these fish are actually coming ashore. Now, take a look at this footage over here, where you can see some sort of a mythical fish that has this electricity passing all over it. So this fish is named as the Doomsday Fish. Anytime this fish ends up coming up all the way to the shore, this most probably means that there is some sort of a massive disaster that's going to come up. Crazy. This fish looks, and look at the sound that it makes. That's crazy. I don't know if it's electricity or...
That's a cool looking fish. It's a cool looking fish. I don't think it's electricity like he's saying. I think it's just the way that the fluorescent is working on its fins, but...
It's just its scales, man. That looks so good. As beautiful as it might seem, this fish is not something that should appear on the shores, because when it does, there is definitely some massive disaster that's coming up. And it's not just this. A couple days ago in India, there seems to be 700,000 tortoise that just came out of the beach in Odisha. And this is how crazy it looks, man. Just take a look at the stuff. These are how many of these things that are currently visible, and we don't know what's happening. It seems like, most of them are laying eggs. Something that's inside the ocean, they just felt that, it's not really safe, so they decided to show up on the shores in the beach. And it's not just hundreds and thousands. There are
I think turtles do that a lot. Turtles typically go on land to breed because they bury the eggs and then they go back to the water, and then the eggs hatch, and then the baby turtle slowly makes its way to the ocean. That's how it happens. Now, he hasn't clarified whether this is happening outside of the breeding season. He's just going, oh, look how crazy it looks. Look how crazy it looks. Oh my God, they must be scared of something in the ocean. They've all just come out at the same time. It's like the salmon fish. The salmon fish could be miles away from home, not with any other salmon fish, and then all of a sudden, at the right time of year, it knows, I need to go back home. I need to go back home, and I need to go have kids. So the salmon fish travels upstream, sometimes doing some crazy maneuvers where there's like little waterfalls, and you see the salmon fish jumping up on the waterfalls and climbing up. They do this to go back to where they were born, so they can actually have more kids with other salmon fish who have made that trip back at the exact same time of the year. Animals have this thing in them. They know the cycles of life. They know how to flow with the cycle. It's nothing... Well, I was going to say it's nothing amazing. It is definitely amazing, but it's nothing biblically prophetic to the end times.
700,000 of these turtles that are showing up in the beach. And how in the world is any of these things that we're witnessing right now even normal? Like 700,000 of them showing up at the same time, and then we also have...
How is that normal? Because that's what they do! That's what they do! That's what turtles do. They all turn up, they all lay the eggs, and then they all go back into the ocean. And then when the babies come out, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of these little babies all coming out at the same time and running across the sand to get to the water because they were all laid at the same time.
The doomsday fish that's showing up in the shores, and I don't think there's anything out there in the ocean that the killer whales are even scared of. They're not even scared of sharks. And if these creatures are afraid of something that they've seen in the ocean, then that is something that we humans should be worried about. Because just a couple days ago in Australia, it seems like 150 killer whales showed up on the beach, and they were scared and they were freaking out, and most of the whales even ended up dead out of panic. Because take a look at this video here.
False killer whales have been stranded off the coast of Tasmania, Australia. Initial observations revealed 90 whales were
Look at that, they're
still
dead,
alive. But local wildlife officials said they'll euthanize the surviving animals after rough ocean conditions made it impossible to refloat them. Rescuers had attempted to send 2 of the whales.
Rough ocean conditions made it impossible to save them. So it's maybe because of these rough ocean things, the patterns of weather in the oceans that caused these whales to beach themselves, possibly. Maybe, you know what I mean? There's a million different reasons other than they were running away from a leviathan. You guys tell me. You guys tell me. What do you think? Do you think there really is a leviathan under the water, and these? I'm wrong, and the turtles are coming out, and the whales are coming out, and all the other fishies are coming out just because they're scared of a leviathan, or do you think it could be something a bit more reasonable in why it's happening?
Back out to sea, but wind and rough seas meant they immediately returned to shore.
That's crazy. It doesn't seem like they want to go back as well. They're not putting any efforts in order to go back.
What do you mean they're not putting any effort? He just said because of the rough sea and the high winds, even though they put these whales back in the water, they kept getting pushed back to the land. They weren't strong enough to get back out. They were caught in that current or something. I don't know. But to say that, oh, they don't care. What did he say? Not that they don't care, but they not even...
returned to shore.
That's crazy. It doesn't seem like they want to go back as well. They're not putting any effort.
They're not putting in any effort. They're not putting in any effort. They don't want to go back. Really? Really? How do you know they're not putting in any effort? How do you know they don't want to go back? He just said because of rough weather on the seas and the wind has made it harder for them to go back. And now you're saying that they're not trying hard enough because they don't want to go back. See what I mean? People will read whatever they want to read into a subject
in order to go back. They on purpose, all these whales and all these fish and turtles and some of the craziest creatures are coming out.
The cause of the stranding is still unknown.
I'm pretty sure there's a disaster coming. There's a massive disaster that's coming up. And also today we just found out that there is a brand new mysterious fish that was also found all the way up the shore. And these fish are like the brand new species that we have never known for all these years. If you take a look at it, it seems like it's a mysterious fish with transparent head and unique eyes spotted in deep seas. And it does actually looks crazy, man. Look at that stuff. Ooh, that's creepy as hell. That looks like...
That does look crazy. That does look kind of cool, but creepy at the same time.
An alien or something, and they have like 2 egg-like eyes. I don't know if those are like eyes, and they're pretty much just transparent. You can see all of their organs. You can see the brains, organs, and everything. That looks sick. That looks very sick. And I guess the fish is basically telling us to be more open-minded. Now, we also found another footage of this oarfish, which is also known as the doomsday fish. Apparently, they're trying to get this back into the water, and that's how huge it is. Look at the size of this thing. And this is supposed to be the doomsday fish that never appears on the shores, and these things are coming out in the beach. And this thing apparently appeared all the way back in 2011 in Japan before the infamous...
So it never appears, and then he says, oh, and it appeared back in 2011, and it always appears before some kind of natural... Bruh. And I don't think it always appears before every natural disaster. That's the thing. Sometimes there's natural disasters without any of these fishes. You guys tell me. Am I being too critical on this guy, or is he just really just reaching for anything?
Earthquake that happened, and it was one of the most craziest events of natural disasters in our history.
The only thing more popular than me.
Hashtag not sponsored.
I wish I could sniff your pits.
And that was the time when they spotted this thing. And now after 23 years, it seems like the fish is back again. And also take a look at California right now. I don't know what the hell is going on. It seems like there are massive hordes of birds that are flying across. I don't know which exact location this is, but it seems like they're leaving California. Something crazy is going to happen. This definitely seems like there's some sort of a natural disaster that all of these creatures are like giving us a warning about. But
typically animals do have a sixth sense about any kind of disasters coming up, but birds fly like this all the time. I was sitting in traffic the other day on the motorway, and there was like about easily about 600-700 of these birds just flying around doing their thing, just doing their patterns. Sometimes they'll go for a few minutes and then they'll come back. They'll do this and then come back. Birds fly, especially in patterns, especially together, you know. It's like that schooling thing of the fish. They do the same thing. And this is a very zoomed in video.
There is something huge that's coming up, is all I can say. And the fact that it's...
I don't know. Like I said, I think he's just jumping to conclusions. And if this was in California, I'd like to know what happened after this video was filmed. Because if it was real, then guess what would happen? Something bad. Something bad in California would happen. If all the birds just left, something bad would happen. Maybe the forest fires is what was happening, and that's why those birds were flying. Maybe. Or it could be a situation where those birds were just flying around, an earthquake happened, and then they came back, and that was it. It's not doomsday prophecy, it's just animals reacting to the world. Let's have a quick look at the chat. Let's see what your opinions are on this so far. Let's see if you guys agree with him and you really do think that the end is nigh. Well, the end is nigh, but those signs are from the Bible. Just reading the messages. Here we go. D says, yes, I haven't been watching Blackwoods long, but interesting. Some prophecies fulfilled and some being fulfilled now and others coming. Yeah, but I think it's just more of a... It's not really the prophecy being fulfilled. It's where they are trying to match to the prophecies that have been told. They're going, oh, look at this thing. It says this in the Bible. They're trying to match it. They're not just going and living life and then prophecies actually coming through. They're looking for it everywhere they can to say, oh, look, this matches this matches this matches this. And like we showed in regards to the trumpets, the blood turning red is the third trumpet. That means the first and second trumpets already started. And that would go against the pre-tribulation. That means we're in post-trib. Ravioli says, man, I like your music choices and videos. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Catherine says, business, they said they were going to turn RT into Tagliatelle. Looks like they have. Ravioli says, speaks of Tagliatelle, I will need to eat soon. I broke the fast with a piece of toast. Enjoy your food, bro. D says, Catherine, Ravioli is strong and does not have time to take garbage out. He will be fine. Free to roam. Ravioli says, Biz, I don't think I ever said hello to you before. Oh, here we go. D says, yes, the dragon and beast will be dealing with this in the end time for sure. God never lies. Yeah, but what if I'm that dragon? What if I'm that dragon? Or maybe I'm the beast. The beast from the Middle East. Ravioli says, D, can I ask you a question? To do with the New Testament. Is it okay? Yeah. D says, did he explain away prophecy? How about a knuckle cheese sandwich with extra cheese? I'm not trying to explain away prophecy. I'm just looking at it rationally. However, like I said, I do believe we're in the end times, but not because of anything he said. Not because of anything he said. But I do believe we're in the end times. Revelry says, then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. After fasting 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry. The tempter came to him and said, if you are the Son of God, tell these stones to become bread. So what is a fast to Jesus? Peace and blessings be upon him. Is it the same fast as human or something else or other meaning? I think it'd be a human fast. If we're going by the story the way it's told. I think it's a different kind of fast, but yeah. I'll let D explain that. D says Matthew 4:1, then Jesus led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted out of the devil. Matthew 4:2, and when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered. He was afterwards hungry. Biz is exit, guys. See y'all tomorrow. Take it easy, Biz. Thanks for joining. Ravioli say, no, I read that one. Just the Truth says, Lieutenant just called D Little Miss Biblebot. Not very nice. It's fine. I call D Biblebot. It's what I call her. If they're trying to use it as a offensive thing, that's on them. That's on them. I don't think D gives a shit. And she shouldn't. That's probably them trying to get a reaction out of her. D says Matthew 4:3. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou beest the Son of God, command these stones be made of bread. D says, Didi, yes, there is a Leviathan. Okay. You say, yes, there is a Leviathan as if you know for sure, D. Can you please tell me why you know for sure? Is it just because the Bible says, or is it just some other evidence that you might have seen? Have you seen a video of the Loch Ness Monster and you think that's Leviathan? What's going on? What's going on, D? What's going on in your head? Ravioli says, what do these verses mean, D? Amanda says, why are these fish beaching themselves? BBC Earth. Welcome back. Madness. D says, a fast is not before men with Jesus. It is in secret to the Heavenly Father, and make your request known to the Father in Jesus' name. You decide the fast, how long, and the meal. Catherine says, just the truth, are they mentioning Demand's chat to mention Gossi? I'm guessing so. They're probably talking about so, I don't know. They pay a hell of a lot of attention to my stream, where my streams have got, well, I was going to say nothing to do with rational thinking or critical thinking, but I guess it does. It has always been rational thinking and critical thinking, but it's also about God and life and truth, love, compassion, contentment, humility, and hope. So I touch a bit of everything in life. Fingers in all pies. So maybe they're just upset. I don't know. It's a dumb problem. We're living rent-free in their head, guys. Don't stress about them guys too much. Unless you really want to, then you could go ahead and stress. It's your choice, free will. D say, the man that says the above YouTube video gives a different reason as to why the fish beach themselves is part of their mating ritual. Okay, cool. There we go. There's always a reason. That reason may not be 100% right. I don't see why fish would need to strand themselves on a beach in order to mate when stranding themselves on a beach will kill them. Unless what they do is that they go closer to the shoreline and then they mate next to the shoreline before they head back towards the sea. But what could have happened is while they were down by the seaside, by the shore, maybe some really big waves came in and pushed them all over onto the beach, and then they got beached rather than being able to mate. Who knows? But yeah, I don't think it's a good survival strategy to jump out of the water if you can't breathe in air. I don't think that's a very good mating strategy on its own. D says to Ravioli, Satan tempted God, but God owns all, and Jesus, even in the flesh, man, fasted and rebuked Satan and told him to get behind him. For Jesus to command him, he was God, and Satan fled. Ravioli says, Judas Iscariot, did Satan tempt him? Why did he betray D? Why? Why did he betray? D says, yes, Satan tried to tempt God in the flesh, but Jesus was still all God. Yeah, but DD, yeah, but hope. Yeah, but love. Yeah, but compassion. Yeah, but humility. Yeah, but contentment. D says, the word and prophecy, DD, will stand and be fulfilled. Yes, people get their trumpets mixed up. God will reveal, and man is human. We are still discerning and coming into the knowledge and wisdom of God. Yeah, but that's the thing. If we're still discerning and still coming into the knowledge of God, people like this should not be claiming that this is legit 100%. It's this. Because then that means they're lying. Because they don't know for sure. Or they could say that it's an assumption. They could say, we believe this is what's happening. But saying, this is happening, guys, you need to be aware. It's the end time prophecies as explained by the Bible. It's 100% legit. When they're doing that, it's a bit... Ravioli says, was Judas Iscariot stealing the donation money? D says, gives us the more you search, the more you seek, the more you will be given knowledge and wisdom, DD, to the signs of the times, prophecies. D says he was in control of the money, but I don't know if he did anything with the money. I don't think he did. And she says, I don't care what they do or say over there or anywhere. And Dee knows that. Right, Dee? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know, I've said this before. If you give someone power over you, that's you relinquishing power yourself to someone else. You're allowing them to control you, allowing them to manipulate you, allowing them to lead you where you may not want to go, or think things that you don't want to think. You know, you're the masters of your own life. You have power over your own mind. Use that power and use that ability to think for yourself, and just go, do you know what? If they want to talk about me, they can. It's a them problem. It's a dumb problem. Come on, guys. They just did 2 streams about me. They just did 2 streams about me back to back. Like, it is what it is. It is what it is. Ravioli says, D, is there forgiveness with Judas or not? And demand, do you believe in God? Do you follow any of the prophets? That's a good question. I follow all the prophets, meaning that I believe that all the prophets were sent from God. But whether I follow any of the prophets, as in what they said, I don't know exactly what they said. I only know what's been written down and kept. So, and I think a lot of that is lost in translation. A lot of it is lost in misinterpretation as to what they're trying to say. Because life isn't just 3D. Life is more than 3D. There's many different dimensions to life, which is why I say many different perspectives. So for me, yes, I follow the prophets because I believe that all the prophets came from God, and I believe that all the prophets came with the same message. Maybe different variations, different flavors, different building blocks. For example, I've said this before, where I believe that God sent the religions to us in stages. So like when Buddhism came, it came to teach us compassion. When Islam came, it came to teach us commitment. When Judaism came, it came to teach us to be happy. With Christianity came to teach us to forgive. With Sikhism came to teach us wisdom. With Hinduism came to teach us love. Each religion has its set role of why it's there to teach and what it's there to teach you about yourself. But the truth within it is the same everywhere. All the religions have the same truth, that there's only one God, that we should be good to each other, we should live with truth, love, compassion, contentment, humility, and hope. They probably don't say it in the same words I do, but they would kind of analogize it similar. So that's what I believe there, Ravioli. D says, Jesus did go into the heart of the earth and many came out. Only God knows whether he was forgiven. We will know one day. And Caiaphas and Annas, I don't know who those people are. Geisha says, Christianity, Jesus is tempted by Satan. Logical, incomprehensible is us. D says, Didi, I just believe that the beginning prophecies came true and prophecies coming true now, and have no reason not to believe the end time prophecies. It's not about not believing the end time prophecies. It's whether you believe that what he is claiming is an end time prophecy is an end time prophecy. That's the thing. Like, I don't have an issue with you going, no, I believe in end time prophecies. Yeah, no problem. But do you believe what he is saying is confirming that the end time prophecies have already started, and technically we're on the 3rd trumpet, according to this guy, because the rivers are turning with blood red. These 2 Ravioli all had the opportunity to receive when Jesus went into the heart of the earth, so only God knows if they repented. Ravioli says, and purgatory, is that real or an invention of man? Madness of Life says, D, that link I put up shows the BBC item on it. Basically says they come out to mate and then they go back in the water, even though it does look strange. Wow. Yeah, it just baffles me that they mate outside the water to then go back in and possibly lay the eggs back in the water. That's very strange. I'll have to look into that. Maybe it's a special type of fish or something, but yeah, to come out of where you can breathe. It's like us as humans, we can't breathe on Earth, but we go into the water, breathe, and then we come out of the water. And while we're down there, we can't breathe. While we're trying to mate, it sounds more complicated than it needs to be. Well, we'll see what. I'll have to look into that link. I don't think I can see the link, so I'll have to look for it. But you said it was on BBC. D says purgatory is a Catholicism thing. Abraham talked to the rich man and said there is a gulf between us. Reverend says, so if you're in hell or punished, that's it. Have you read the Quran, Demand? I've read parts of it. With the Quran, like, I've read the first two verses, or the first two surahs, and I think I was on the first surah or the second surah. It said something about don't follow those who are guided, but follow those who guide. Don't follow those who are guided, but follow who guides. And from my understanding of that, Muhammad was guided. All the scholars are guided. The one who guides is God himself. So, according to the Quran saying don't follow the people who have been guided, go to God directly. I believe that the Quran, the Torah, the Bible, all of these books are just there to kind of show you that God is real. To say, hey, by the way, God is real and these people have confirmed it. And then you need to go and make that connection with God. You have to get that relationship with God. And then you're kind of really worshipping God rather than a book or rather than a cult. You're actually worshipping God. Ravioli says, man, you look like you have some Baha'i beliefs. I don't know what Baha'i beliefs are, to be honest. I know Baha'i is like some kind of sect of Islam, but I don't know much about their beliefs. I may have heard a few things here and there, but I don't know much about them. And maybe the Baha'is have got some damning beliefs. Maybe the Baha'is and the Muslims and the Christians have got some damning beliefs. Yeah? Maybe the man came up with this and everyone else copied it. Amanda says, RT, do you know the Quran? Only guy called Muhammad here on YouTube. Quran only guy Muhammad. Yeah, that's the guy I interviewed on my channel actually back in the day. Muhammad. Yeah, I found him by accident and had a really good conversation with him. And I do keep watching him every once in a while. I saw him in a debate with what's his name? The guy with the long hair, always looks oily, Muslim. I can't remember his name. He's got a weird like YouTube name. But basically, yeah, I saw a couple of videos recently on him having a conversation with them there as well. I've always said that if God has given you the Quran, and that's the word of God, then you don't need other books. Because God gave you everything you needed in that one book. If man has decided you need other books, then you got to question why man wants you to have these other books and what understanding they're trying to give you compared to what the Quran gives you alone. What extra bits are they putting in the hadiths that the Quran never even mentions? Because that's not the word of God. But I know some Muslims, especially Sunnis, they still say that, oh no, the hadiths are the word of God because they came out of Muhammad's mouth, which then is blasphemy. Because then they're saying that everything that Muhammad said came from God, which is incorrect according to their own sources, because Muhammad only received the revelations from the angel Gabriel, never from God directly. He always got them from angel Gabriel. So technically, he may not be giving you God's words, but yeah, they still claim it's God's words. So yeah, it's a bit weird. Ravioli says, you heard of Baha'u'llah, the man? Nope, never heard of Baha'u'llah. Baha'u'llah. What does that mean? D says, in hell forever and ever. Charity says, if D Gossi is a Bible bot, then Big Nose and Lieutenant are Quran bots. Non-stop raving on about the Quran every live, nauseating and boring. That's true. They've become the Quran bots. They've become Quran for Christians. D says, Matthew 8:12, but the children of the kingdom shall be cast out into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Ravioli says, D, are you more Protestant? I don't think D follows any kind of denomination. But you could double check with her. I'm pretty sure she confirmed it the other day. Oh, yeah, there she goes. I am non-denominational, no religion, no doctrine, only born again. John 3:3, follow Jesus, accept the grace by faith of the Heavenly Father. D, I wanted to ask you this yesterday. So you say no non-doctrine, you don't have any doctrine. But doesn't the Bible come under doctrine? Doesn't the Bible come under doctrine? How do you explain that one, just so I understand? I'm going to ask Google at the same time in case I don't understand what doctrine means. Yes, the Bible is considered a collection of doctrines, meaning it is a body of teachings found within the scripture that explains key Christian beliefs about God, humanity, and salvation. Essentially, the Bible is the source of Christian doctrine. Yes, so the Bible is the source of Christian doctrine. So how do you square that circle there, D? How do you feel about saying that you have no doctrine, but you still hold the Bible? Charity says Big Nose and Lieutenant nearly have a chat room all to themselves. They have been banned a third of their guests or subscribers, and the other quarter are not interested in their topics. Yeah, but like I said, they could come around from this. There's always hope, as long as they are willing to reflect, grow, and move forwards. These days, to Charity, really nice. Now has become a music channel. I noticed that. Yeah, they've got music playing constantly in there. Ravioli says 28:56 demand in the Quran. Alright, let's have a look at the Quran. 28:56. 28:56. Quran 28:56. Quran 28:56. Surely you can't be serious. I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. You surely cannot guide whoever you like. But it is Allah who guides whoever He wills, and He knows best who are fit to be guided. Yep, that's in regards to where the Muslims will say, oh, but I gave him the message, and if God didn't bring him to us, that's up to God. God hasn't changed his heart. I get that one, but that isn't what we're saying here. What I'm talking about is Quran. Do not follow those that are guided. I think it's Surah 2. It's funny, I just found this Surah Al-Baqarah 2:170, and when it is said to them, follow what Allah has sent down, they say, no, but we follow what we found our fathers doing. What if their fathers had no understanding and were not guided? I think that Surah, I'm going to have to write this one down. This Surah 2:170 is just about how Muslims shouldn't be just following old traditions, which I think is very important. You should not be following old traditions just because someone else did it before you. Does not mean that they are right. It just means that they knew no better. And if you know better, then you should do better. Let me just write this down for my own personal reference, because I think that's good. But that's not what I was looking for. Bear with me 1 second. Alright. Oh, maybe it's not in the second one. Maybe it's in the first one all along. Al-Fatiha. No, it's not there either. Okay, I can't remember where it was. Although I do sometimes think that they keep updating these English translations. I don't think these English translations have been like made in rock. I think they are constantly always updating these English translations. Because I've gone back to some of these Quran things afterwards. And yeah, it just doesn't sound the same as when I originally read it. And both times I read it directly on Quran.com, on their own website. And it just did not read the same way as I read it last time, meaning that the words were slightly different. Yeah. It looks like it's definitely been changed. Definitely been changed. I'll have to see if I could find it. But it was something, it literally said along the lines of, do not follow those who guide, but follow the one who is do not follow those who are guided, but follow the one who guides. Let me see the translation of this one, if this is the one. No, that's not it. Yeah, I'll have to look for that. I'll have to look for what I'm talking about, because right now I can't seem to find it, and I've not got enough. Well, I've got time to look for it, but I'd rather keep the stream going. So I'll look for that in my own time, Ravioli. But that was the one that you mentioned, the 2856, wasn't which one I was talking about. I was talking about a different part of the Quran. D says like, share, subscribe, thumbs up. Yes, please. Like button. Let's minimize this guy for a second so I can point in the right direction. Here we go. And I believe the like button should just be about there. Right there. Go hit that like button. Go hit that like button. Alright. That's my bit of promotion done. Alright, let's get back with the chat. Madness says, demand that link is a YouTube video from BBC Earth explaining it. Yeah, unfortunately your link didn't come through because you're not a mod. So YouTube automatically removed the link. But I'll have a look for it after I get off stream, just so I could satisfy my own curiosity. And I can let you guys know what I think about it later or tomorrow or whatever. Just the Truth says, to Remzi, no, they were talking randomly about people. Okay. That's not very nice. They shouldn't be talking about people. Well, I guess I do sometimes, so. Hypocrite. Hypocrite. Ravioli says, that's the verse the man was just quoting, 2856. That wasn't the verse I was quoting, but it's close to it. D says, you should go up. Ravioli tells us what you're saying. Love to hear you speak your language. Chatter says, one giant ego trip, music D. Self-promotion, tripping, smooth moderator, and a drunk big nose disturbing people at Speaker's Corner. Ravioli says, you surely cannot guide whoever you like or profit, but is a lot. Yeah, that's not the one. That's not the one. It was like I said, it was about how do not go to those who have been guided, but go to the one who guides. It was almost verbatim for something like that. I can't remember exactly where it was, but I'll have to look for that and let you know. Ravioli says... oh wow, Ravioli's learning Greek. That's cool. And it is that... Oh... Okay, yep, there it was. I ended up jumping down a few messages. Oh, damn, so many messages. Hold up. Where was I? Oh, here we go. Hope I don't bore you all to death. I am learning Greek at the moment. And it is his will that he guide us all to hell. Is that love? Oh, dear. And Latin as well, cool. Charity says, Big Nose and Lieutenant have together destroyed their channel. It's not over till it's over. It's not over till the fat lady sings, okay? It's not over till the fat lady sings. I still have hope in them, guys. I still have hope that they can turn this around and they can get back on track. It's not over till it's over, guys. It's not over till it's over. Just the Truth says Ravioli is multilingual intelligent. Yes. Ravioli says demand Baha'u'llah means glory of God. He's the prophet to the Baha'is. Oh, okay, interesting. Baha'u'llah and Baha'is. Madness says Yemeni. Yes, Al Yemeni. Thank you very much, Madness. Yes, he was talking to Al Yemeni. Muhammad was talking to, and yeah, I think he destroyed Al Yemeni. But it's not hard to destroy Al Yemeni. He comes from a very confused position. Literally, when I was at Speaker's Corner, I asked Al Yemeni, I was like, so all I need to do is say the Shahada and I become a Muslim. And he's like, yes, that's it. And I was like, so wait, I could be bad, I could be evil, and then I could just say these magic words called the Shahada, and that's it, I'm instantly forgiven. He's like, yes, exactly, that's exactly how it works. Then you become a Muslim, then you become someone who's submitted to your will to God. I'm like, no, but it's just lip service. You don't know. He's like, no, but the words are powerful. I'm like, yeah, but they might be powerful, but if they're not coming from my heart, they're powerless. You know, they're just words. And yeah, he just couldn't get the message. He couldn't get the message that, hey, if you're going to be claiming that you have given up your will to God, it has to be done from the heart and not just lip service. So, yeah. Ravioli says, demand my friend Nagar is beautiful. Would you speak with her about the Baha'i faith? Yeah, I'd love to learn more about the Baha'i faith. If she wants to come talk to me about it, I'll be happy to hear it. D says, I heard her talk, Ravioli. She sounded so sweet and nice. Ravioli says, and she has a conversation with Al-Mahdi to finish. If he's on this channel, or if she wants to go to his channel, that's no problem. I'm not controlling where anyone goes. You guys can do what you want. She can go talk to whoever she wants. But if she wants to come talk about Baha'i, I'd be happy to learn. I like different perspectives. I've heard the Christian perspective, heard the Muslim perspective. I haven't heard a Baha'i perspective. Might be interesting. Ravioli says, can Nagar come live with you, demand? Yeah. Yeah. Does she want to do this now? Is she here right now, or is this something that you want to set up in the future? Just let me know. Yeah, I'll drop my email in the chat. I was about to. Oh, there we go. There's my email in the chat, Ravioli. Drop me an email and let me know when she's free, and I'll see if I'm free, and then we'll plan it as a conversation with the Baha'i. It'll be interesting. She wants to finish her discussion with American Mahdi. I hope the man would have her on his show. Yeah, I don't mind having people on my show as long as it's on a topic or something, or we can actually discuss something and dive deeper into different perspectives. Then I'm happy. I'm happy with that. So yeah, drop me an email, bro. He says, no, the Bible is just a book of prophecies and revelations and tells history and facts documented of eyewitness. I have no doctrine. The Spirit is in me and guides me without the word, but the word is truth. If you seek and search it out, no denying it. No, the Bible is just a book of prophecies and revelations. Well, it's also the teachings, isn't it? It's also how to interpret the religion. It does tell history, yes. Certain facts. Eyewitnesses, reports of what people have said on how to, you know, like Paul saying, oh, this is what you should do, and then like Jesus saying this is what you should do. I think that comes under doctrine. Just the Truth says, yeah, I would like to hear her on this channel talking with the man. Am I the only one who's never heard of this Nagar? Everyone seems to know who Nagar is, and I've never heard of Nagar. But yeah, she's more than welcome to come up. D says, many people have met Jesus and have the Spirit in them that live in jungles and all over. Never read the word. So the word is not doctrine, and I am not into religion, Didi. Okay, yeah, no, I agree there. I agree. The truth is the truth, and it exists beyond what's written down. 100% agree with that. Hence why I've not read any of the religious books like a scholar. Read parts of them, or people have told me parts of them, but I've not sat down and studied them. Ravioli says she's very intelligent. Good, I like intelligent people. Odi says, yeah, would be a good conversation with you, her, and Didi. Yep, bring it up. Ravioli says, do you think the man would have us all up? Yeah. If it's a conversation, the more minds, the better. The more minds, the better. Just the Truth says, I like hearing your perspective too, Ravioli. You should join Demand Live. But be careful, Ravioli. I will say things how I feel. How I feel? I will say things how I see them. So if I'm smelling bullshit or hearing bullshit or I need clarification and whatever, I will say, look, you're confusing me. We need to get to the bottom of this particular thing before we can discuss this thing. So as long as you're good with my style, then I'm good with you coming up. D says, the book is a roadmap. We know we have a loving Father, and reading the word of truth, we get to know how he judged wickedness and how he knew we needed a savior and could not keep the Mosaic Old Covenant. Just the Truth says, Daman, can Ravioli be your VIP guest this evening? This evening, if he really wants to, but we're going to be, as soon as I'm done with these chats, I think there's only a couple more. I'm going to go back to this video about Leviathan, and then we're going to look at the eschatology of the... We're going to look at the eschatology of the other religions, but if you really want to come up, there's the link in the chat now. I'll pin it in a moment when I get to the bottom. D says, hit the like button. Yes, please, hit that like button. Madness says, apparently it says in the Quran to pray 3 times a day, dawn, middle, and night. And Muhammad also prayed 3 times a day. Why are peeps praying 5 times? Ah, interesting. That's probably because of the hadith, you know. Yeah, the hadith is the one that says about the apostasy laws, not the Quran. You know, there's a lot of things that the hadith say that the Quran never even mentions, and the things that the Quran says are the things that, the things that the hadith mention are the things that people have a problem with, you know, such as apostasy laws. Those are the things that people have issues with. Typically, I don't think I see many people quoting the Quran except for Surah 424 and some others for contradictions, but Surah 424 as a problem. But otherwise, yeah, it's typically the hadith they have issues with. D says, yes, love to hear Ravioli. Would you, Didi? Yeah, don't mind. Ravioli, would you read for me? You know what I like you reading. Okay. Soon. What do you like? I thought Ravioli reads like the Quran and stuff. What does he typically read? Ravioli says, soon I will read the New Testament in Greek. I hope you will read Rumi and Bolaha's Persian hidden words. D says, you're welcome here. I loved hearing you talk on Nose Channel, loving and caring. Ravioli says, D, Rumi is very big in USA, his poetry. D says, to Madness, we pray anytime, anywhere, and God hears in Jesus' name. Jesus said, pray in my name to the Heavenly Father. D says, it's not over, maybe. God patience until all of you come in. Love poetry of Psalms of David. I like poetry and songs. Ravioli says, okay, she will come here then, I think a day or 2. Yeah, no problem. Just drop me an email. Let me know when it's good, and I'll confirm. I'll make sure that I don't have anything else planned. And there's my link for the email from my Praising Frequencies channel, because that's what I'm logged on at the moment. And I tell American Maddie as well. They were talking about Farsi. Nice, thank you, Daman. No, thank you, bro. Thank you. D, how many years was Chris in the US Marine Corps? You don't need the book to be filled and led by the Spirit, DD. Nope, I agree, but hey, this is what people kept telling me over the past year. I've been doing this. Everyone was telling me, "Man, you're wrong. No, you need the book. Oh no, you can't say you know God unless you've picked a side. You have to pick a religion in order to know God." And yeah, for this past year, I've been getting it from all angles, telling me that I need a book, and I kept saying I don't need a book. And I'm glad to see you saying that I don't need a book. Finally, someone agrees with me. Ravioli says, I heard a rumor he was a US soldier. Yeah, I think I've heard that too. Madness says, demand that wasn't a link, just the title of the video here on YouTube so you can find it. Perfect, thanks, Madness. No worries, I'll find it. He says, I'm not sure. Ravioli, a few years, I think. Love US Marines. Dad was a Marine. Love our military. Ravioli says, Chris is a brave man. I don't know about brave. Not shitting on the army, guys. I'm not shitting on the army, but The army typically doesn't recruit brave people. It typically recruits idiots. Not saying that Chris is an idiot, but I'm just saying that's typically the people they go for. People who can follow instructions, especially if they say, I want you to go attack this village. You shouldn't go, but sir, there's civilians. You should go, yes, sir. No worries, sir. Consider them deleted, sir. And just on that note, we're going to play a quick video. I'm done with this Leviathan one. We'll go to the eschatology in a second. Malcolm. There we go.
That client review was brutal.
I've been underwater for weeks.
Well, Troop, you've polished your boots before everyone else. How on God's good earth did you accomplish that miracle?
I just did it exactly the way you told me to. Remove laces, pull tongue forward, apply polish, pull tongue backward, buff, replace laces, repeat. I did the same thing to make my bed and secure my footlocker.
Well, that's the most miraculous turnaround that I've ever seen. I want you to explain to these recruits how the worst soldier in the unit has managed to put them all to shame.
I just stopped thinking. I figured out that using my brain was the whole problem. Not just here, but my entire life. But if I just do exactly what I'm told and nothing else, then everything gets easy. It's not even a question of smart or dumb. You just turn yourself into a tool. I'm much happier that way. I'm the world's happiest tool.
You must be proud of yourself, son.
I don't know if I am or not. I'm waiting for you to tell me.
Oh my God. A soldier like you comes along once in 1,000 years.
That's my opinion on the army. That's my opinion on the army. Especially the armies nowadays. Because most of these armies are just about old people getting young people killed for political gain. It's never about fighting for the innocent, fighting against injustice. It's about oil. It's about oil and bringing for freedom to these countries that need it. You know, the oil needs freedom. It's stuck in the ground and it needs America to come in and save them. So yeah, I'm a bit like this with the armies at the moment. But that's my opinion on it. Madness says, demand the video in under 3 minutes, just so you know. Oh, okay, that's awesome. That's good to know. That's a quick one. I might watch it now then. D says, yes, just needs discernment. Books don't give it to you. No, they do not. Madness says, weather gorge last few days. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful weather. Ravioli says, I like your style, the man. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. As long as you like it, then it should be good. We should have a good time. Madness say, oh, here's the link for StreamYard. Let me pin that up. Oh, it won't let me pin it because I've done it on my other account. Silly Billy. Ooh, the little silly Billy. Madness says, will be 15 and sunny on Sunday. So Speaker's Corner for me, maybe. Nose will come out of the shadows. Oh, that'll be interesting. Ravioli says, Chris saying he could bench press 550 to 600 pounds once upon a time. That is serious weight. I don't know about weights. I've never gone gym to lift weights or anything like that. I don't know if that's high or not high, but if you say it's high and it's strong, it's strong. I've got no issues with that. Madness says, there's a truth about Mohammed that I like. Just the Truth says, Madness, I'm going Sunday with my coffee to Speaker's Corner. Hope to see you there. Madness says, you just have you met me before? Yes, Damien. First letter. D says, pick no religion, Jesus fulfilled religion, laws, no works, faith, grace, and all the other fruit you will bear. Ravi says, I like to what you were saying. Do you think he will stay out of Islam or he will come back to it? Oh, that's in regards to your conversation at Speaker's Corner. Alright, cool. I'm at the bottom of the chat. Awesome. Alright, so let's see. I can't even remember what that thingy was. It was a while ago that thingy sent it. Madness. Here we go. Why are these fish beaching themselves? BBC Earth.
Golf Grunion, scout the beach.
Okay, so this video was posted 6 years ago. So it may not be those same fish, but let's continue.
Then, in their hundreds, females surf in on the waves, shadowed by eager males. They are here to spawn. But it's not going to be easy. Each female tries to propel herself as high up the beach as she can, to lay just beyond the reach of the waves.
Oh, they lay in the sand. Yeah, it does look very similar to what we were just seeing, actually. It does look very similar to that.
Drilling herself into the sand is the cue for the male grunion to move in. They wrap themselves around her, jostling to fertilize the eggs. In the frenzy, many eggs are dislodged. Once flicked out of the sand, they won't survive.
I love how epic the music is, though. I love how epic it is. But that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Madness. Yeah, that looks exactly like what it was. It doesn't look like he was correct in when he said that it was about the Leviathan being in the water scaring off the fish to the beach, does it? It's a little bit different than what he was saying. Knew there was going to be some other reason other than they're running away from Leviathan. But, yeah. Right, let's get to the bottom of the chat. Ravioli says, hadiths which conform with Quran are to be trusted, in my opinion. Ooh. The thing is with the hadith, because you say hadiths which conform with Quran are to be trusted, it shows that the ones that don't conform with the Quran are not to be trusted. And if you can't trust the hadith that don't conform with the Quran, then technically you shouldn't trust those that do conform with the Quran either. You know, because if there's errors in those that don't conform with the Quran, then there's going to be errors in the ones that do conform with the Quran in some areas. In the parts that where it does conform with the Quran, you might be like, okay, cool, we could trust this one. It says what the Quran says, but then the rest could be a bunch of garbage. You can't trust that 100% because it's hadith. It's the witness statements of those people around. Even the Quran, technically, through the oral tradition, cannot be trusted as 100% as everything else. But I'm allowing to go, hey, if you claim it's the word of God and you claim it's the perfect book and it can't be added to or taken away from, then I will go by what you say, that it cannot be added or taken away from, and then you don't need the hadiths, because the hadiths are adding to the Quran. They're adding things that aren't in the Quran. And yeah, you shouldn't trust everything that the Muslims push out as part of the Quran, especially the hadiths. Manda says, the hadiths that cause all the issues, I find Quran only grounded in views. Yeah, well, the Quran's got some issues too. I think it's down to interpretation and understanding, but that's a different story. With at least the hadiths that we can say, just throw them all away and just keep the Quran. But I don't think a lot of people agree with that, especially the Sunnis. Welcome back, Shivites. Big up, big up, big up. All right, so now we are going to get started. What time is it? 10 o'clock. Let's do a quick break. Because I think I got a message from one of my mates. So I'm going to check my phone and have a quick smoke. So in the meantime, we'll listen to a quick song and then we'll be back before you know it. And then we'll watch... I'll let you guys decide. On who we start with. Let's go. Let's put a poll in the chat. Let me just change the thingy so I'm on the right account, because it won't let me do it right now. There we go. And while I'm doing this, guys, D said exactly what I was about to say. D, we're on the same wavelength. I was literally just about to say, while I do this, guys, make sure you hit that like button, share, subscribe, thumbs up, all that good stuff. Hit the emoticon button. Do whatever you like. Thank you very much, D. Appreciate it again, as always. And what was I going to do? What was I about to do? What was I about to do, guys? Oh yeah, the poll. Start a poll. End times of Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. Alright, so there's the poll, guys. Once we come back from the music break, I will play whichever one has the highest votes. So vote for which one you want to watch first, okay? If you want to watch the Islamic, Judaism, or Christianity end times prophecies, just click the button, make the vote, and then we'll come back and we'll watch that in just a moment. So enjoy the song. It's one of my favorites. It's called Jah Gives Me Strength.
People come and go, their words betray. But there's one thing steady, one thing true. It's the love of Jah carrying me through. I've seen the storms, I've felt the pain, but through it all, His love remains. When I'm lost and the path ain't clear, I trust in Jah and I feel no fear. So I leap into life with faith in my soul. Just the only one who makes me whole. When the world lets me down, I'll still stand tall. Just my guide, my strength, my all. Been trying to tell me I can't survive, but Jah gives me strength, keeps my hope alive. Every step I take, I know He's near. In His light, I've got nothing to fear. The system's broken, the promise is fake, but Jah's foundation no man can shake. Through every trial, through every strife, I place my trust in Him, my life. So I leap into life with faith in my soul. Jah's the only one who makes me whole. When the world lets me down, I still stand tall. Jah's my guide, my strength, my all. Oh Jah, your love's like the morning sun, rising each day no matter what's done. When I fall, you catch me, lift me high. You're my wings, Jah, you help me fly. So I move with courage, I move with grace, knowing Jah's love is my resting place. Let the world be shaky, let the winds howl. I walk by faith with a joyful soul. No riches, no power can ever compare to the peace I feel when I'm in your care. I leap into life, not afraid to fall, cause Jah is the answer, my all in all. So I leap into life with faith in my soul. Jah's the only one who makes me whole. When the world lets me down, I'll still stand tall. Jah's my guide, my strength, my all. Trust in Jah, He'll never betray. His love is forever, it won't fade away. So take the leap, let your spirit soar. The Jah by your side, you need no more. Oh yeah. Oh, Jah by your side, you need no more. Trust in Jah, He'll never betray. His love is forever, it won't fade away. So take the lead, let your spirit soar. With With Jah by your side, you need no more.
And we're back. We're back again. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I am the dust at the feet of God's servants. Only God is special. If you didn't hear me right, I said I am the dust at the feet of God's servants. Only God is special. All right, let's have a quick look at the votes. I think Judaism has taken it. Nobody wants to know the Muslim perspective. So we'll do that one last. So we're going Judaism, then Christianity, and then Islam. I'll keep the poll running for a little bit longer because I only see 6 votes actually. 6 votes. So if anyone else comes up and decides to vote, that could change what we watch next. It could be Christianity or Islam, depending on the votes. Okay, so let's get that loaded up. That's not the one, that's not the one. There we go, Jewish eschatology. And to be honest, I think this is one of the shorter videos as well, which is nice. Here we go.
Good morning, folks. Everything new under the sun. All right, I've got a ton of videos coming to you. I know that.
All right, before we start the video, let's just watch let's look at what we got on the screen here. We are here. We are here. We're not there anymore. We're over here, past 2020. So when he made this, we were back there. So he probably made this a good, 10 years ago? 5 years ago. Cool. So it's probably been re-uploaded. So he made it in 2019. 2020 there, 2019 there. So he made it in 2019. He's saying that Isaiah destruction of Damascus is in 2020. Ezekiel war of Gog and Magog is soon after that, before 2021. Okay, I think he's wrong already on some of these things. But let's just keep it plain, because at least he'll talk about some of the things that they're looking forward to.
There's just a lot of information that is coming all at once that I want to get out there. And I've been adding to my keynote presentation the timeline of the return of the Lord. Now, what you're looking at is the timeline that I believe...
Okay, he said return of the Lord. I think he might be Christian. Is this a Christian guy's perspective on it? Thanks for watching. John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave an... Yeah, this is a Christian guy giving his perspective on the Jewish eschatology. So, this may be Christian flavored, unfortunately. This may be Christian flavored.
Is currently to be the case, and I think the 7-year period, the 7-year, known as the 7-year tribulation...
Yeah, because 7-year tribulation, I don't think is a Jewish thing. I don't think either.
The Lord returns at the midpoint of the 7-year tribulation. And I think it starts around the year 2021, plus or minus.
Okay, so he said the Lord returns midway in the 7-year tribulation. So he's talking not pre-trib, not post-trib, but mid-trib rapture, possibly. That's a new one.
This few months, maybe even a few years. We'll see how that turns out. But I think 2028 is the end of the years of man on this earth. I think that culminates 6,000 years, basically 2,000 years since the death of Jesus Christ, which was the main milestone, the biggest event in the history of the world, really, because his death on the cross paid for our sin, and it's through the free gift of salvation that we get to enter into the kingdom of God.
Okay, yeah, this guy is just talking about Jesus stuff, and don't get me wrong, I'm not shitting on Jesus, but I thought this was supposed to be the Jewish eschatology. This guy, come on, man, you can call it Jewish eschatology. Let's find another one. Poor show guy. Alright, that's the one that we just watched. Cool. This one's 5 minutes long. And this one goes with Judaism versus Islam's views. It's probably made by Muslims. We'll find out. Oh no. This one's also made by Christians. It seems like Christians seems to be talking about the Jewish end times more than the Jews. That's why I said the Jews have always been kind of secretive about their knowledge.
Bless the Lord, O my soul, bless.
The Jewish faith does not present a singular, universally accepted interpretation of the end times, and this is largely
Okay, that's probably why there's not a lot of eschatology videos on there. Okay, it's down to interpretation of the random verses.
due to its focus on living a righteous life in the present. There are, however, key elements that emerge from the rich tapestry of Jewish eschatological thought. One of these elements is the coming of the Messiah, or Mashiach. In contrast to the Christian belief, Judaism anticipates the arrival of a first-time Messiah, a human leader descended from King David, who will bring about a reign of global peace, rebuild the Holy Temple in Jerusalem, and gather all Jews back to the land of Israel. The arrival of the...
You know what's weird? The other day, Actually, Joe, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. It's weird. It's super... Oh, Joe, I'll just say it. It's super weird. The other night, I was having some visions, and one of them showed like a branch that went to David and then to Abraham, which is cool. But yeah, anyway.
The Messiah does not denote the end of the world, but rather the beginning of a new era of harmony and understanding. Another concept...
Yeah, see, that's what I thought. The Jewish position isn't the Messiah comes and then we all die and then everyone else gets to go to heaven. All the good people get to go to heaven. It's about peace on earth. It's about the kingdom of heaven coming down to earth. And I think that's something that the Bible says as well. Kingdom of heaven will come down.
Concept is the resurrection of the dead, or Techiat Hametim. This belief, codified in the 12th of Maimonides' 13 Principles of Faith, posits that the righteous will be resurrected at the end of days. It's important to note that not all Jewish sects subscribe to this belief, as some interpret it metaphorically rather than literally. Finally, we have Olam Haba, or the world to come. This is not the afterlife in the conventional sense, but a new world order that will be established after the coming of the Messiah.
Woo! New world order! That's what we need.
Represents an era of divine justice, spiritual growth, and ultimate peace. Again, these concepts are not uniformly accepted or interpreted within Judaism. They serve as guideposts, providing a framework of hope and expectation for the future. It's a vision of the end times that is not so much about cataclysmic destruction, but about transformation and renewal. So, in Judaism, the end time...
They do have an end times. So, from what I remember, when the Messiah comes, there'll be peace for 1,000 years, and then at the end of that peace for 1,000 years will be some kind of destruction, I believe, if I remember correctly. So they do have a destruction point too, but not when the Messiah returns. That's after we've had some peace on earth.
Times are seen as a time of transformation and renewal. Let's explore the Islamic perspective, where the end times are depicted with a sense of urgency and dramatic upheaval. The narrative of the end times in Islam is a tapestry woven with both spiritual and physical elements, creating a vivid image of a time of monumental change and final reckoning. In Islamic eschatology, the end times are marked by signs leading up to the Day of Judgment. These signs are classified into two categories, minor and major. The minor signs are those events that have been prophesied to occur gradually over time, leading up to the advent of the major signs. The major signs, on the other hand, are those momentous events that will occur in close succession and herald the Day of Judgment. One of the pivotal figures in the Islamic end times is the Mahdi, a guided one who will rise during a time of great turmoil and injustice. The Mahdi will restore righteousness and pave the way for a period of peace and prosperity. Another significant event in the Islamic end times narrative is the return of Jesus, known in Arabic as Isa. Muslims believe that Jesus was not crucified but was raised to heaven and will return to earth during the end times to defeat the false Messiah, the Dajjal. The blowing of the trumpet is another major event in the Islamic eschatology. It is said that when the angel Israfil blows the trumpet, all life will cease. Then, after a period of time, the trumpet will be blown again, and all beings will be resurrected for the Day of Judgment. On this day, all beings will be held accountable for their deeds. Those who have led righteous lives will be rewarded with eternal paradise, while those who have led lives of sin without repentance will face eternal punishment. In Islam, the end times are a momentous event, filled with both peril and promise. It serves as a stark reminder of the transient nature of our earthly existence and the eternal reality that awaits us all.
Yeah, see, Islam is about the whole, the bad guys get wiped out and then the good guys go to heaven. Christianity is the bad guys get wiped out. The good guys go to heaven. Whereas Judaism is like, hey guys, we all have peace. We all have peace. I think that's a better... I like the peace. I like the peace idea. We'll see if it's possible. We'll see if it's possible. But yeah, I like the peace idea. If not, we'll have to go with the war. We'll have to go with the wars and the fighting and the killing and the... If it is what if it's what the people want, you know. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? You didn't want peace, you wanted war? Now you got war.
Why is it important to understand these perspectives? Firstly, it fosters interfaith dialogue. When we understand the core beliefs of each other's religions, it becomes easier to engage in meaningful, respectful conversations. It helps us recognize the shared humanity beneath our diverse faiths. Secondly, these doctrines provide a sense of hope and motivation for adherence. The idea that our actions in this life have consequences, that justice will be served, and that a better world awaits can inspire us to live ethically and compassionately. Lastly, these views on the end times remind us of the transient nature of our current existence. They prompt us to question our priorities and consider what truly matters. They encourage us to seek a deeper understanding of our purpose and to strive for a better world, both in the
and a better connection with God.
Here and now, and in the life to come.
That was a good little video. Good little video. Very cheerful music to be playing on a video about the end times, but it seemed to work. It seemed to work. And there's this other short video. Since we've just done the Muslim perspective a little bit, this video is about the Muslim perspective a little bit. It's about the Mahdi. Imam Mahdi. It's about this guy. So we'll watch this video as well after I just catch up with the chat. D says, yes, great faith, just believe. Madness says, RT, how would you respond that the Quran is not the word of God but Gabriel? It's true. Shiva says, the Big Apple is a symphony too. Lord Krishna playing his flute. Ravioli says, Allah gives the order instruction to the angel. Yes, but then it's... Ravioli, can the angel make a mistake? Can the angel make a mistake? If God gave the angel a message, and then the angel came to Muhammad to give him the message, is there a chance that the angel can make a mistake, or is it infallible? Is it just like God and can't make mistakes? D says, yes, can't put time on it, God's time, but it is soon. Always God's timing. Shiva says, it's not the end times, that's a Jewish filter. It's the end of this Yuga cycle. Yeah, but end times for this cycle. End time for this cycle. Not wrong, it's just a different perspective, different way of seeing it. Ravioli, you do know we don't speak Arabic, right? You keep dropping Arabic into the chat. Can you find the English translation? Oh, I think you did, actually. Perfect. Shivite says, November 2046 is when Nemesis X returns. Lord Shiva and Kali Ma's Ring of Fire. Shit will get dangerous then. That's when it gets dangerous. Ravioli says, all praises for Allah, the originator of the heavens and the earth, who made angels as his messengers with wings. 2, 3, or 4. He increases in creation wherever he wills. Surely Allah is most capable of everything. If he's most capable of everything, and I think Muslims believe that God came to Moses in a burning bush, why didn't he come to Muhammad in a burning bush? Why did he send an angel? And like I said, can angels actually make mistakes? Can angels make mistakes, or are they 100% like always correct? D says, yes, the olive branch DD, we have been grafted in. I don't know what that was in regards to. I must have said something interesting. Shivat says, Judaism is founded on Babylonian secular books. Possibly, but it doesn't mean it's wrong. It doesn't mean it's wrong. Like I said, a lot of the stuff I've been talking about on this channel, I have seen these Jewish guys talk about as well on their channel. Whether it be self-reflection, whether it be that we need to clear our mind, whether it be that we need to focus on God more, whether it be whatever the crap I've mentioned in previous streams, they've mentioned it in some format on their streams as well in regards to the lessons from the Torah itself. So I got to think that they're on the right track. You know, Not because I'm copying them and not because they're copying me, just because the truth is the truth and it will resonate. D says Luke 4:10, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee. Luke 5:10, likewise I say unto you, there is joy in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner that repenteth. Romans 11:12. Biblebot's at it today. Romans 11:24, for if thou were cut off the olive tree which is wild by nature and were grafted contrary to nature into the good olive tree. Okay, I felt like there was a question coming up at that one. Romans 11:24, you just wrote it again. John 15:2, every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Every branch that beareth not fruit, he taketh away, and every branch that he beareth fruit, he purgeth, that it may bring forth more fruit. So you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. Romans 11:17, and if some of the branches we broke off, and thou, being a wild olive tree, wert grafted among them, and with them partakest of the root and fatness of the olive trees. Cool. Shiva says that's bollocks. This realm is on a metaphysical timer simplified to every 138 years. These resets can local, regional, or worldwide. Yeah, but I think we're waiting for the worldwide reset. I think this is the big one coming up. The one that happens every 12,000 years. D says Matthew 24:32. Now learn a parable of the fig tree when his branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves. You know that summer is nigh. Luke 22:67. Art thou the Christ? Tell us. And he said unto them, if I tell you, ye will not believe. He says, you said you had a vision of olive branch, did he? Oh, no, it wasn't an olive branch. It wasn't an olive branch. It was more... Oh, it's complicated to explain. It's complicated to explain, but essentially... And it sounds a bit weird. Like I said, it sounds a bit weird. But it was kind of like a... Let me go big screen for this. Let me go big screen for this bit. So yeah, it was more like I could see the various branches of my life, meaning not just my life, my ancestral life. I could see ancestral life branches going from me to my grandparents, going to the family tree. It's not something I've researched or anything like that. It was just sitting around chilling. And yeah, it was some kind of vision I had that like the branches all led back to Abraham. And yeah, I thought that was interesting because for me, when people say, oh, Abraham is our grandfather or something like that, or they say, oh, we follow the religion of Abraham, I'm like, cool, good for you. But after I had this vision, it was like, oh wait, do I have to say now I follow Abraham? Do I have to? Because he's, yeah, I don't know. But it was a weird little vision I had because it wasn't something I was expecting. I was just looking back to, I was just thinking about my granddad, to be honest. And then it ended up going further and further and further and further. It was weird. But yeah, it is what it is. It wasn't olive branches. It was branches of time. Ravioli says, and to Allah alone bows down in submission, I whatever is in the heavens and whatever is on the earth, living creatures, as to the angels, we are not too proud to do so. D says Daniel 7:25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times the law and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. D says Matthew 1:1, the book of the generation of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Shiva says Old Testament is based on Sumerian history books up to Babylonian. Yeah, but doesn't mean that's not true. We all know that knowledge is passed down over years and years and years. It's always old stories retelling. It's always new stories retelling old stories. Nothing new is under the sun. So Yeah, I've got no issues with that. Shivites. Doesn't mean that it's not true. Doesn't mean that it's not got truth in it. Doesn't mean that God didn't originally send it down. It just means that if we follow the pattern, that's where it came from, but it could have come from somewhere before it came to Samaria, you know. And I think even Sumerians talk about the Anunnaki. They talk about the Anunnaki, those who from heaven came down to earth. That's what it translates to. The Anunnaki translates to those who came from heaven down to earth. And they talk about how people came from the heavens and taught them how to farm, how to read, write, and do all this stuff. And that's why Sumeria, even though it was like 7,000 years ago, was one of the first civilizations known to man with full agriculture, language, and everything. You know? So I wouldn't shit on it just because it's come from Sumerian history. In fact, it kind of gives it a bit more credence, in my opinion. D says Psalm 78:8, and might not be as their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation that set not their heart alight, and whose spirit was not steadfast with God. Ravioli says they fear the Lord above them and do what they are commanded. And then if we look at what Imam Ali says, the sleep of the eye, or the slip of wit, or the languor of the body, or the effect of forget. And then if we look at what Imam Ali says, the sleep of the eye, we've read that forgetfulness does not affect them. Okay, so it's saying that Imam Ali says the sleep of the eye, so they shouldn't rub their eyes. The slip of wit, so they shouldn't be witty. Or the languor of the body. I don't know what languor means. Maybe tiredness of the body. Or the effect of forgetfulness does not affect them. Interesting. I think that kind of stops you from being human. I don't think... Oh, unless that's the angels. You're talking about the angels there, aren't you? I think you were talking about the angels there. Yes. Ravioli says Ali on the angels. Perfect. Yep, thank you. Cool. Hence why they wouldn't be human. D says Matthew 3:9, and think not to say within yourselves, we have Abraham to our father, for I say unto you that God is able of these stones to raise up children unto Abraham. And think not to say within yourselves, we have Abraham to our father, for I say unto you that God is able of these stones to raise up children unto Abraham. Interesting. D says Genesis 25:6, but unto the sons of the concubines which Abraham had, gave gifts, and sent them away from Isaac his son, while he yet lived eastward unto the east country. Eastward. Shivite says the big resets use the 138 to be calculated, and when Nemesis X and Dark Satellite are part of timeline. What's Nemesis X and Dark Satellite? Is Dark Satellite that whole mysterious satellite that goes around Earth, or mysterious ship? Sometimes they call it the Dark Knight. Is that what you're talking about when you say the Dark Satellite? And I'm not sure about what Nemesis X is. Is Nemesis X supposed to be like Nibiru? Is Nemesis X Nibiru, Planet X? The one that they say that is apparently coming back every 3,600 years, I believe. Is that what you're talking about there, Shivites? D says Genesis 25:12. Now these are the generations of Ishmael, Abraham's son, whom Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah's handmaid, bare unto Abraham. Shivite says the Sumerian civilization as the end of the Anunnaki and their descendants, which was taken out of the Phoenix Protocol reset. Wait, they were taken out of the... Interesting. I'd like to know where you get your information from, Shivites. I'd like to know where you get that from, because right now, honestly, it sounds like you're pulling out your ass, but I know you've done a bit of research, but I'd like to know where you've done that research. Because, like I said, with just statements, it's like, it could be, could not be, I don't know, it is what it is. But if you give me something to look into, I might be able to find out. And plus, let me know about Nemesis X. Is it Nibiru? And is the Dark Satellite, the Dark Knight satellite, the one that orbits the Earth? The one that they kind of say has been there for years and years and years and years and years before we even had satellites. D says Romans 4:12, and the father of circumcision to them who are not of the circumcision only, but who also walk in the steps of their faith of our father Abraham, which he had being yet uncircumcised. Awesome. All right, that's me caught up with the chat. And now we're going to go back to that Muslim video about the Mahdi, whatever.
The topic of Imam Mahdi's emergence is one that has fascinated Muslims for centuries. His arrival is a significant event in Islamic eschatology, heralding justice, peace, and the final triumph of truth. While the exact timing of his arrival is known only to Allah, many scholars and believers see the fulfillment of certain signs as an indication that his advent is near. Some have even speculated that 2025 could be the year of his emergence, based on various hadiths and interpretations of current events. In this script, we will explore this possibility in light of authentic hadiths, without making definitive claims, but urging believers to prepare spiritually. The promise of Imam Mahdi, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, if there were only one day left for the world, Allah would extend it until he sends a man from my family whose name matches mine and his father's name matches my father's name. He will fill the earth with justice and fairness as it was filled with oppression and tyranny. This hadith establishes the concept of Imam Mahdi and describes his mission to restore justice and eliminate oppression. It also clarifies that he will be from the lineage of the Prophet, peace be upon him. Signs of his arrival, but teaches us the importance of the work. Many hadiths describe the signs that would precede Imam Mahdi's emergence. Let us consider a few key signs and how they align with our current times. Widespread oppression and corruption. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, mainly things like, do despise this life. May God concerned about unbelievers must not behold against whatever's happening in the world. For pieces of a dark night, may God concentrates on worldly goods. In today's world, we witness rampant moral decay, corruption, and the prioritization of material wealth over faith. Many interpret this as a fulfillment of the above prophecy in the Middle East. The Prophet, peace be upon him, foretold there will be conflicts and disputes at the death of a ruler. Then a man from the people of Medina will flee to Makkah, and the people will pledge allegiance to him between the Black Stone and the station of Ibrahim. Sunan ibn Majah. The political instability and power struggles in the Middle East today are seen by some as precursors to this event. The death of significant leaders and the rise of tensions could pave the way for Imam Mahdi's emergence. Celestial signs. Another hadith states, two signs will appear before the Mahdi. A lunar eclipse in the first half of Ramadan and a solar eclipse in the second half. While such events are natural phenomena, their occurrence in the specified manner and timeline would be extraordinary. Some scholars believe these signs are metaphorical, while others await their literal fulfillment. And when we reach that space, we will see the role of Imam Mahdi. Imam Mahdi's leadership will bring about monumental changes. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said he will distribute wealth equally, and none will be left in need of charity. He will lead people in accordance with the Sunnah, and his reign will last 7 years. Sunan Abu Dawud. His governance will contrast starkly with the injustices of the time. Imam Mahdi will unite the Muslim Ummah, defeating the forces of tyranny and preparing the world for the return of Prophet alayhi salam. Other signs aligning for 2025, while setting a specific date is speculative. Some contemporary scholars point to global events that appear to align with the prophesied signs. Increasing wars, particularly in Muslim lands, natural disasters and economic crises, the moral decline of societies and the rise of atheism, extreme colonialism. However, believers must remember that the exact timing of Imam Mahdi's emergence is unknown. The Prophet, peace be upon him, instructed us to focus on our preparation rather than speculation. Imam Mahdi's arrival is not merely a historical event, but a test of faith. The Prophet, peace be upon him, warned, time will come when holding onto your religion will be like holding burning coal. Recitation of the Quran and acts of charity. Seek knowledge, understanding Islamic teachings to differentiate truth from falsehood. Repent and reform, turning away from sins and striving to live a righteous life.
Interesting. I like the bit that they added at the end about not focusing too much on the details of when he's turning up, but focus on your faith and what you got to do in your life. Whether he turns up this year or next year or in 15 years, it's not going to change what you've got to do today. I like that little message at the end. Let's see, where was I in the chat? Here we go. I read that one. Ravioli says, do you heard of Professor Habermelala? Professor Bert Ehrman, big American Bible scholars. I've heard the names. I think a lot of Christian channels have mentioned them before. Shivite says, the dark satellite appears every 792 years. Wow, that's... So is it going around us, or is it in an elliptical orbit like Planet X is supposed to be? D says, are they online? To Ravioli, yes, they have YouTube channels. I'm going to skip some of the Bible botting. Ravioli says, Professor Ehrman knows more than anyone I have ever heard on the Bible. He's something to do with Princeton University. He says, I wrote down, we'll check out. He was at Moody's Bible Institute. Shivite says, Archaics is the channel on Phoenix Phenomena and Real History. Okay, I think you've given that channel to me before. But it wasn't really giving actual evidence, if I remember correctly. It was just like a lot of statements that you kind of have to believe, if I remember correctly. And I think that's why I stopped watching it. But yeah, I've got it on my screen. I'll probably watch a couple of these later and see if I can find anything I like in it. Thank you very much, Shivites. Shiva says the creation story of Bible was catastrophic global reset that the Jews changed to hide the past resets and their metaphysical timers. Was catastrophe global reset that the Jews changed to hide the past resets. Well, they didn't hide the Great Flood. That one they didn't hide. He says, promise to Abraham, Isaac, Galatians 3:18. For if the inheritance be of the law, it is no more of promise, but God gave it to Abraham by promise. He says God has plans for both sons of Abraham. They war. Yeah, but then they've got to come to peace. After the war, they've got to have some peace. Galatians 4:28. Now we, brethren, as Isaac are the children of the promise. Acts 13:23. Of this earth man's seed hath, according to his promise, raised unto Israel a Saviour, Jesus. Shiva says all the disaster stories in the Bible are actually resets. Galatians 3:29. And if ye be Christ, then ye are Abraham's seeds, and here's according to the promise. Interesting. I did not know any of that. I didn't realize Abraham played such a big role in the New Testament. I knew in the Old Testament they may mention him quite a bit, but I didn't realize they mentioned him quite a lot in the New Testament. That's interesting. Thank you very much, D. Alrighty, so we are done with the Judaism one. We're going to move over to the Christian. Nobody wanted to watch the Islam prophecy, eschatology. Nobody wants to watch the Islamic eschatology. That is mean. But it is what it is. We'll watch the Christian one now. Christian one gets super complicated. I've seen some videos that are like 2 hours long, 3 hours long. So this one is going to go through about 3 or 4 different versions. But I'm going to let this one play out as long as I can before I pause it, because it's such a long video. And I will be speeding it up as well, just to make sure that we're not taking too much time. Because I can see the time's coming up to 11 now. So yeah, we'll do 20 minutes of this, 20 minutes of chat, and then we'll end the stream. Perfect. Alright, cool. Let's watch this. I'm going to disappear off screen for a second, and then I'll be back when I've got something to add. Just before I do that, Shivite, D dropped the link for praising frequencies. Thank you, D. Shivite says he has all the data sets to prove his research and nobody from the mainstream will debate him. Interesting. I can definitely have a look at it. I will definitely have a look at it. Would you reckon he'd be willing to come up and have a chat? Do you reckon he'll be willing to come up and have a chat? D says, yes, Abraham, father of many nations, we are heirs and seeds according to the promise through Jesus Christ, grace, spiritual Israelites. Awesome. All right, here we go.
What do Christians believe about the future? A lot of different things, as this chart I made shows, and we'll get into those details very soon. But first, some definitions. The Bible talks about last days and time of the end of the world. It is also the source of several words that people use today for end of the world type events like Armageddon and apocalypse. In Christian theology, the categorical term used for this discussion is eschatology, which comes from the Greek eschatos, meaning last, and logi, which refers to a branch of study. So eschatology means the study of last things. Similarly, you may sometimes hear the word eschaton used, which refers to the final event. Now realize that in Christian theology, this refers to the last things in the current state of the world. For most, though not all, there is a belief in a yet future new heaven and new earth that will continue for eternity. Another term we must define is the second coming. This one's pretty simple. Christians believe that Jesus came to earth the first time, when he was born in a stable in Bethlehem and the wise men showed up and brought him gifts and stuff, except that the wise men came later to a house, not on the night Jesus was born, but that would make the nativity scene much too complicated. But that's the first coming. Then later Jesus was crucified and then rose from the dead and ascended to heaven. That all was the first coming. But Christianity teaches that Jesus is still alive today and will be coming back, the second coming. That's a big part of what eschatology is all about. Most Christians believe that around this time of the second coming will be a final judgment. By the way, notice the chapter and verse that comes from? Sound familiar?
Oh, hey, how's it going? I'm pen and paper guy. I like things old school. That satisfying feeling.
Just kidding. There's disagreement on exactly how close this judgment will be to the second coming, but we'll get to that in a moment. Another word sometimes used for second coming is parousia. Another definition we need to give right away is that of the word millennium, as much of the modern discussion of eschatology surrounds this concept. You're probably already familiar with the word. Millennium simply means 1,000 years. So in the year 2000, people talked about entering a new millennium, although the millennium technically didn't begin until 2001 since there was no year zero. But that's just a millennium. In Christian theology, the millennium is a technical term, and it refers to what is mentioned in Revelation chapter 20, where it says things like, they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years, and the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished, and they shall be priests of God in Christ and shall reign with him 1,000 years. Some people see other Bible passages as referring to this same 1,000 years, like that Bible passage about the lion laying down with the lamb. The one that doesn't really exist. But it does say that the wolf will dwell with the lamb. That's in a passage that some believe is referring to events that happen in this 1,000-year millennium. Today, there are three main... That's in a passage that some believe is...
Sorry, I'm just going to read this one. I've never heard this one before. The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. Interesting. A wolf, a lamb, a leopard, a calf, a young lion, and a kid. Interesting.
Is referring to events that happen in this 1,000-year millennium. Today, there are three main positions on the millennium. One is called premillennialism, one is postmillennialism, and the third is amillennialism. The problem is Christians throw these terms around sometimes, but they need explanation. You know what pre and post mean, right? Like a prequel, which is a movie that tells the before story, so pre means before, and post, like in post-production, editing done after the fact, so post means after. So these views say that something comes before or after the millennium. But what? The answer is the second coming. A premillennialist believes that the second coming is before the millennium. A postmillennialist believes that the second coming is after the millennium. And the third view just has a, which negates something. Theists believe in God. Atheists don't. So amillennialism or amillennialism refers to no millennium. This is somewhat of a misnomer because amillennialists don't really believe in no millennium. Rather, amillennialism would be better referred to as nunc-millennialism, meaning millennium now. Let me take just a moment to flesh out these three views a bit more. Premillennialism says that the timeline we are all living in will eventually be stopped by the second coming. Jesus will return. Then will be this 1,000-year millennium, and they normally take the 1,000 years literally. It'll be a glorious kingdom of God on earth with Christ physically present and reigning over it in most premillennial views. Following this will be the final judgment and new heaven and new earth.
Okay, so premillennial is more like the Jewish side of things. They say we're living now, we'll get the second coming, and then we'll have 1,000 years of peace on earth. That's like the Jewish perspective. Cool.
Physically present and reigning over it in most premillennial views. Following this will be the final judgment and new heaven and new earth. Post-millennialists, though, don't believe that we're waiting for Christ to come back before the millennium can begin. Rather, the millennium comes before Christ's return. So in most cases, they believe that there will be a ramping up of the millennium. The world will become more and more millennial throughout. No, not that kind of millennial. Basically, Christians usher in a golden age, and at its peak, Christ comes back, and the final judgment happens, and new heaven and new earth. Postmillennialists sometimes believe this to be a literal 1,000 years, but the majority view is that it isn't necessarily so. The 1,000 years just represents an indeterminate but somewhat lengthy period of time. This might blow your mind, but amillennialists are actually postmillennialists too. Remember, postmillennialists believe that the second coming is after the millennium. The amillennial position is that the millennium is now, and the next thing to happen is the second coming. Second coming after millennium, postmillennial. But the thing that differentiates the two views is the nature of the millennium. Amillennialism views the millennium as symbolic. First, it's not a literal 1,000 years. It began with Christ's resurrection and ends at the second coming. So we're already 2,000 years into it. But also, it's not necessarily ever going to make this earth into a very great or very Christian place, though it doesn't preclude the possibility. Christ is reigning from heaven right now in this view. Now, perhaps you're thinking this is all too elementary. If someone has studied Christian eschatology or even attended a church that studies or discusses this kind of stuff, they're often familiar with these three terms. But there is a next step. If we put these three views as rows on a chart, there are actually several different eschatological perspectives which overlap with these views. These
All right, before we continue, I just need to check what flavor of Christianity is this guy? I want to know what flavor of Christianity he is, because obviously there's so many different Christian flavors out there that it might be his perspective. Because I know he's not even mentioned anything about a rapture, and I know a lot of Christians talk about post-trib, pre-trib raptures, and he's not talked about tribulations either yet. Maybe he's about to bring it up, but yeah, I don't see anything about his flavor.
These are the preterist, idealist, historicist, and futurist perspectives. Now, if you like charts and stuff, Christian eschatology is where you go to get it. But surprisingly to me, very few charts have ever been made that show this overlap between these perspectives and the millennial systems. So we're going to do that. But before we can look at these various overlapping views, let's define these four perspectives. To do so, let me grab an eschatology verse from the book of Matthew, which says, "Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven." The word preterist comes from the Latin word praeter, which means past. So preterism refers to a system which puts most of the events commonly labeled as eschatological into the past. Most preterists would view that passage as being a symbolic description of a literal event surrounding the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD. The most opposite view to this is the futurist. This system, in contrast, puts most of the events commonly labeled as eschatological into the future. Most futurists see the fulfillment of Matthew chapter 24, verse 29 as still in the future. There can be disagreement on what is symbolic or literal. Some would see that description as an entirely literal description of a future event, and others may view it as a symbolic description of a literal event. Then there's the historicist view, which views the eschatological events as things that have been happening sequentially throughout history. Historicists then take events from eschatological passages in the Bible and try to assign them to events from history. One historicist, for example, took this passage in Matthew and...
God, he talks quick. I know I have sped up the volume of the audio on this, but still, like, he's given a lot of information. I hope this is making sense to some of you guys. Yeah, let me just check the comments. Is anyone complaining about the speed? Nobody's complaining about the speed of the video. So cool. I guess you guys are following along with it as well.
Said it refers to May 19, 1780, which was apparently a particularly dark day in parts of the early United States. Finally, the idealist view. To describe it, let me summarize what I've said about the other views. Preterists take the eschatological Bible passages as mostly in the past, symbolic descriptions of literal events. Futurists say they are mostly future, as literal and symbolic descriptions of literal events. Historicists say they are mostly in the current church age, sequentially as symbolic descriptions of literal events. Idealists say the passages are mostly in the current church age, simultaneously as spiritual truths. By simultaneously, I mean that there's no matching passages with historical events. They're all applicable through the entire church age, which means that the earliest reader of Revelation, for example, could get just as much out of it as we can today. And by symbolic descriptions of spiritual truths, I mean that the eschatology passages are speaking of spiritual realities, not about any kind of historical happening at all. Some have also called this the symbolic approach or the spiritual approach. So now let's look at how these overlap. First, let's be clear, there are some combinations that are quite common and others that are less so, and it's also changed over time. Today, futurists are mostly premillennialists, historicists are actually a quite rare bunch, idealists are mostly amillennialists, and preterists are postmillennialists or amillennialists. Let's look at the specifics a bit more. First, let's look at the premillennial futurist position. This box has a big crowd of people in it that have a lot of disagreements among themselves. Let's talk about one of them, the timing of the rapture. So before I get there, I need to define another term, which is tribulation. Now, you probably know about this word tribulation, which just means a lot of suffering or trouble, but premillennialists often believe in there being the Great Tribulation, a technical term for a 7-year period of time prior to the millennium in which many of the eschatological events happen, such as the seal judgments, trumpet judgments, thunder judgments, and bowl or vial judgments. For reasons I'll not explain now, it's all...
I just saw one of them said golden. Said golden in red, so I'm going to go back to that because golden dragon.
Seal judgments, trumpet judgments, thunder judgments, and bowl or...
Yep. The great tribulation, and one of the 4 beasts gave unto the 7 angels 7 golden vials, full of the wrath of God, who liveth for ever and ever. 7 golden vials. Okay, so those are the vials that are being broken during the 7 trumpets. Interesting.
or vial judgments. For reasons I'll not explain now, it's also referred to by many as Daniel's 70th week. So what is the rapture? Rapture refers to being caught up, and those who believe in it may refer to this verse in 1 Thessalonians. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. So the idea of Christians being taken out of the world physically is the idea of rapture. You may have seen a chart with different rapture views, and there are books on it too. Some believe in a pre-tribulation rapture. Christians are taken out of the world, then the tribulation period, then the second coming, then the millennium. Others believe in a post-tribulation rapture. Christians live through the 7-year tribulation, and then they are caught up in the rapture to then welcome Christ into his kingdom of the millennium and return with him to the earth. There are those who see the rapture as sometime within the 7 years, such as the mid-trib and pre-wrath positions.
I'm no author, but I sell thousands of books.
Hashtag not sponsored.
I couldn't write a word of them.
But the biggest thing to know is that this whole controversy over the timing of the rapture takes place in this one box, the futurist premillennial box. Everyone else, all the preterists, idealists, and historicists, whether premillennial, postmillennial, or amillennial, view the second coming as happening simultaneously with the rapture. In other words, when Christ comes back, it is synonymous to when Christians are caught up. In fact, because of this fact, many of those in the non-premillennial camps leave the word rapture to the premillennialists. Most people today who aren't deep in their understanding of Christian eschatology associate the word rapture with just one of the various views. The futurist, pre-tribulation rapture, premillennial works like the popular Left Behind series, which portrays the rapture happening and the earth continuing on. People who believe that this series of events is not biblical or realistic would often prefer to drop the word rapture and stick to the terminology of second coming, which encompasses both Christ's return and his people meeting him. There's actually a lot of videos and charts on the different views of the rapture as compared to the tribulation, so I won't cover that in more detail here. But one thing I do want to mention here for clarity is that the view that the rapture is after the tribulation is sometimes called the historic premillennial view, since the earliest premillennialists held to it. This is not the same as the premillennial historicist position. A historic premillennialist could be a historicist, but they could also be a futurist, which is where most historic premillennialists are today. So what is premillennial futurism? It is the belief that the eschatological events are mostly future as literal and symbolic descriptions of literal events, and that the millennium is before the second coming. Examples of people who hold to and teach this would be Hal Lindsey and his book, The Late Great Planet Earth, the Schofield Reference Bible, Charles Ryrie, Calvary Chapel churches and regular Baptist churches, and lots of other Baptists. Most Southern Baptists...
I'm guessing that most of these people who are making these plans about the tribulation and end of the world haven't done this from spiritual guidance, but from scholarly work. So how accurate could it be? How accurate could it be if you're just looking at the books?
Most Pentecostals, most non-denominational churches, anyone who holds to the theological framework called dispensationalism fits in here, but that itself is actually a disagreement within this box too. So if you find a dispensationalist, they go in here. A person who believes that the church and Israel are completely distinct and that there is a future eschatological purpose for national Israel, they're in here. But some premillennial futurists actually oppose this view quite a bit. If so, they are historic premillennial. For example, George Eldon Ladd and his book, Gospel of the Kingdom. So now let's move over and take a look at premillennial historicism. A premillennial historicist believes the eschatological events are mostly in the current church age sequentially as symbolic descriptions of literal events. We live in this time period now, and the second coming is next, followed by the millennium. Before dispensationalism became popular, this was a view a person held if they were premillennial. This was Charles Spurgeon's view, A.B. Simpson's view, and the view of Henry Grattan Guinness, but it's actually a very rare view today, along with historicism generally. What some have viewed as the reason for this is that historicists tended to have lots of disagreements among themselves over which historical events match up with which events in the biblical eschatology passages. Historicism led people to try to lay the book of Revelation on top of history and match things in a one-to-one relationship, but everyone matched things differently. Nonetheless, there are still some historicists around today. What is likely the largest group of premillennial historicists around is the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Ellen G. White taught a historicist model in her book, The Great Controversy, and this is still the church's position today. Leaving premillennialism, let's discuss the other two historicist views, postmillennial historicism and amillennial historicism. Postmillennial historicism sees most events of Revelation throughout history, and they may still be being fulfilled in the present day. The millennium will slowly ramp up, and we may be living in that time as well. After the millennium is completed will be the second coming and final judgment. This was the position of Jonathan Edwards. However, most postmillennialists today have abandoned historicism. Amillennial historicism likewise sees most events of Revelation throughout history, and they may still be being fulfilled in the present day. The millennium is a spiritual reality happening now, and we need not expect it to result in an earthly golden age, and so at any time could be the second coming and final judgment. This is the position of the denomination the Church of God Evening Light, which has identified certain events from history as fulfillments of eschatological passages. Now, historicism was the favorite view of Protestantism, including the Reformers themselves.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting kind of bored. I'm getting kind of bored with this. There's so much knowledge. It's just like, there's too much information. If he'd, I thought he was gonna go through the timeline and say, okay, so this is gonna happen, then this is gonna happen, then this is gonna happen. But because he keeps going through the different ones, and then yeah, it's getting confusing for me. It's getting confusing for me, especially at this speed. So I'm gonna stop that one there. However, as we were watching it, I did remember something from my childhood. It's The Simpsons.
Leave your body, Seymour. Leave your body. Left below. Woo! A He Is Risen production.
Rapture?
Oh, Mr. Thompson, what if your wife finds out?
It's modern times. Everyone's doing it. Where did my Christian limo driver go?
My pious husband is missing.
The baby I chose to have baptized is gone. Mr. Thompson, what's happening?
It's the rapture, Shauna. The rapture. The virtuous have gone to heaven, and the rest of us have been left below.
Left below? Where have I heard that before?
It's the title of the movie.
It's everywhere.
We were fools, and because we rejected God, tacitly accepting Satan, we must suffer through the apocalypse.
I thought all religions were a path to God. I was wrong.
Why did I put my faith in science and technology?
Oh, why did I choose to be gay? Oh, this movie will haunt me for the rest of my life.
I love it. Oh, I guess we're watching this as well now. We'll watch a little bit of this and then we'll end the stream. This is Kung Fu Panda.
Kai, old friend.
Master Oogway.
Our battle ended 500 years ago.
Well, now I'm ready for a rematch.
Took you long enough. You've grown stronger.
500 years in the spirit realm. You pick up a thing or two. I have taken the chi of every master here.
No.
Yes. And soon I will have your power too.
When will you realize the more you take, the less you have?